Welcome to Friday Night Football on Coffee TV 20 and the Bay Area Online Sports Network. We're at Ed Lloyd Field on the campus of Cardinal Newman High School, where tonight we've got a wine country classic. It's Napa County versus Sonoma County as the Vintage Crushers come to town to take on the Cardinal Newman Cardinals. Hello, everyone. I'm Dave Cox, along with Steve Nicolopulos. And
we fight for the rights of
undefeated in the spring, however, lost their openers here in the fall. Cardinal Newman rebounded nicely last week with an overtime win over Vacaville, and the Vintage Crushers hope to do the same thing here tonight in Santa Rosa.
Yeah, Vintage wants to go ahead and get back on the winning track, and they're going to do that by using their ball control offense, running the triple option. Ball control, ball control, ball control, Dave.
Yeah, and they are very good at it. Cardinal Newman will have to defend that triple option, which is tough. Cardinal Newman has tons of momentum after the overtime win last week. Coach Richard Sanchez's first win as the new head coach here at Cardinal Newman, and they hope to carry that energy right into tonight's game against the Vintage Crushers.
You know, they think they flipped the switch from the losing team to that winning team, and they want to keep on track. So they're going to have a tough job here tonight. It's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, I expect a rock'em sock'em defensive battle. Both teams trying to control the line of scrimmage. Should be a great one here in wine country. It's the Vintage Crushers and the Cardinal Newman Cardinals coming up next.
Go to Gray's. Gray's knows green. Family owned, Gray's Paints is the Bay Area's leading provider of Benjamin Moore paint, stains, and finishes. Gray's Paint will provide you unparalleled paint expertise, environmentally friendly products, and premium customer service to help you successfully navigate your project. Gray's Paint and Benjamin Moore, available at 4 Bay Area locations: Burlingame, San Mateo, Redwood City, and Menlo Park. Go to Gray's. Gray's knows green.
Let's get back to girls tripping instead of solo sipping. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision when vaccines are available to you.
Let's get back to strolling instead of scrolling. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your family.
Contact Jim. Today's game is brought to you by Jim Breen State Farm Insurance, serving all your insurance needs for auto, home, and life. To get the best value for your insurance dollar, contact Jim. So we're getting ready for the start of this one, and Vintage, coached by Dylan Leach, who's an alumni of Vintage High School. He loves the school. He loves being back here coaching his alma mater.
No, he is a crusher at heart. You know, he grew up with his father being the head coach, and his fondest memories are when he was a young kid. He was out on the field. You see him right there, back out on the field. So he's following in his father's footsteps, Dave. It's really important to him that the Crushers do well.
And for Cardinal Newman, it's Richard Sanchez in his first year at the helm here, but a great background. He's got high school and college coaching experience, and he's done a great job putting this team together in a very short time.
No, Coach Sanchez was hired in June, or late this year, so he really just had the summer to go ahead and put things together. This is his first year. His record is 1-1, but he's got an outstanding pedigree because he, like you said, he's been around the block, high school, college, all over the country.
Vintage will be without their star running back, Dylan Smith, tonight, one of the top running backs in all of Northern California. So there's a couple other guys that are really going to have to step up tonight.
No, Diego Davis is going to go ahead and step in for Dylan Smith. Diego Davis is a big back, and he can run. He's He's been able to rush just a few times, and he has one touchdown. He has their only touchdown of the season. Smith was hurt last week, so he's filling in the shoes.
And on defense, Smith will also be missed there, but Mozadi Shamko will play a big role tonight as the free safety, the last line of defense.
No, Mashadi Shamko is definitely going to be a key right here. He plays linebacker or free safety and a running back, so he's got dual duty here tonight, and hopefully they don't wear him out too soon.
Cardinal Newman is led defensively by Santino Acevedo, but he's also scored 5 touchdowns on the offensive side, so they'll use him when they can to try to keep him fresh later in the game.
No, you're absolutely right. Just like his counterpart on the other side of the ball, he's going to be playing both ways, but he's going to be a key important factor carrying the ball. And when he carries the ball, he scores 5 touchdowns last week, or in both weeks, as a matter of fact, in their comeback win. So he's going to be a big factor here today on the offense.
Yeah, here he is with a big run in overtime, defeating Vacaville. Huge game. The first play from scrimmage in overtime, and he scored the touchdown to give them the victory. On the defensive side, the defensive end is going to have to be huge tonight. That's Gabe Bardis in terms of stopping the option.
Bardis is the big end that they're going to want to run away from. Bardis is the guy that has to set the edge versus this triple option. Bardis has to go ahead and force everything back inside, and hopefully they're going to force it back inside to Santiago. So we'll see what happens here. It's going to be a tough matchup for these two teams.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, no doubt about it. Two heavyweights here in the North Bay going at each other. Vintage and Cardinal Newman. Cardinal Newman will be wearing their cardinal and gold with gold pants. Vintage is in the gray with cardinal and gold numbers. They have almost identical helmets, Steve, so how tough is that going to be for the quarterbacks to pick out their receivers when things get a little bit crazy?
It's going to be hard when you're looking downfield and all you can see is helmets, and you're trying to figure out coverage and who the receivers are and everything else.
Aaron Bolinas kicks it deep. Nicholas Ayer takes it for Cardinal Newman. The wedge coming to the near side, and Ayer is tripped up at the 21-yard line. So the Cardinal Newman offense will take the field for the first time with their quarterback, Lucas Konechny. Done a nice job managing the offense. He's completed over 60% of his passes. Not a deep throwing threat, but he does a good job with the short passing game and also using his feet.
No, he's stepping in for the quarterback who left last year, of course. Now Coach Sanchez has got a whole new scheme, so these guys are on a learning curve. They're going to have to go ahead and really step up this evening.
There is Lucas Konechny. Acevedo starts in the backfield, which is unusual. Usually Bierbauer takes the first few snaps, but Acevedo carries this time. It's that same play, that rushing play to the left, that flex play, and he gets about 4 yards out to the 26-yard line. So good job on first down, but Vintage is really worried about him getting big yardage, breaking it for the distance, which he has done a number of times this year.
Right. Coach Leach talked to us in our conversation this week, and he said he doesn't want the running backs to be able to go ahead and run straight. Let them run laterally, let them spill it to the outside, and let the defense go ahead and take care of what they need to.
Out of the gun, Konechny looks over the defense here on 2nd and 6 from the 26-yard line. And again, it's Acevedo. Same play coming in their side. Gets a block from Ayer and gets out to the 32, maybe even the 33, which should be first down yardage for Cardinal Newman. Their first 2 plays from scrimmage, and Acevedo gives them a first down.
Acevedo, not a big back, Dave, and he does a great job of picking his lanes. You saw that in the last 2 plays. He dips it inside. There's nothing there. He bounces it to the bubble to the outside, and he's quick to put his foot in the ground and turn it upfield.
He's averaged 8 yards a carry, 84 yards a game for Cardinal Newman. And he only plays about half the snaps on offense. He never leaves the field on defense, however, and you'll see him very active tonight as the linebacker. And a penalty marker goes down as we get a chance to meet our referee, Randy Mora.
Yeah, both the motion man and number 5 to the far side of the field moved at the same time. So there was your 5-yard penalty, making it 1st and 15. And that's not where you want to be behind the chains. You don't want a 1st and 15. Coach Sanchez wants to be able to move positively down the field.
Yeah, both these teams rely on ball control and short passing and running game. So penalties are huge, especially on first down. 1st and 15 now for Cardinal Newman from their own 28-yard line. Connectly rolls right now, and he's going to keep. Does a nice job with his feet, and he's hit hard at the 33-yard line. Nice hit.
Who other than
Vintage,
number?
And it's Diego Davis who gets him head on that time.
Yes, who other than number 5, Diego Davis, who we spoke about on offense, but he's a two-way player, and he's a monster in the middle.
Tough start to the season for Vintage. Went up against El Cerrito, and they hadn't lost a lot of games until that one, 26-6 win for El Cerrito.
You see right here, he just steps right up. Great form tackle right there.
Neckley gets back to the original line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd and 10. This time they'll try the right side with Acevedo, and the Vintage Crushers are there. I think 9 out of the 11 gray jerseys are in on that. They're going to stack the box as often as possible for Newman. It'll be up to the Cardinals to try to prove that they can stretch the field a little bit at some point in time.
You're going to see a lot of Crushers running to the ball because Coach Leach teaches all hats to the ball. Even in practice, what they do is they play with 2 whistles. First on the tackle, second whistle is everybody has to be at the ball carrier where the tackle was. Otherwise, they're going to have a little bit of extra running.
3rd and 8 as Acevedo managed to get a couple of yards there. So see if Connectly can move the chains again. This time he's going to have to throw for it. Looking right, he's in trouble. And the Crushers take him down back at the 25-yard line. Couple of Crushers in on the sack that time. Leading the charge was Brandon Cruz. Also getting there and helping out was Dominic Mendoza.
Well, that first down penalty really set the tone for this series right here. They moved the ball for a first down, but they weren't able to go ahead and escape. Made him have to go ahead and throw, which is something I don't think Cardinal Newman really wanted to do right there.
Julian Cortina will come on to punt now for Cardinal Newman. He's going to hit this from about the 15-yard line. Jacob Segura back deep for Vintage. Not much of a rush, low kick, good opportunity for a return. And he's taken down at about the 50-yard line. Check it, that was Davis returning that one.
I think it was Bryce Powers,
yeah,
number
Bryce
6.
Powers, number 6. So they get the ball inside Cardinal Newman territory, and that's where their quarterback, Justin Ray, who's starting for the first time at quarterback, they're mixing things up a little bit, and they think Justin Ray is a guy that can command the huddle and really control this offense.
No, Coach Leach talked about he was a leader, and that's what they're looking for, is somebody in the huddle to take command and control the situation, and they're looking to go ahead and do that with Justin Ray. Both quarterbacks are very, very talented, and they do use all their quarterbacks. They rotate them.
1st and 10, Vintage, straight ahead, and a big hit. Blitzing in from the left side is Zach Homan. And he nails Davis on first down. Loss of a yard by the Crushers. Homan, just a sophomore. A lot of young players on this Cardinal Newman team. They've got some sophomores. They've even got a couple freshmen that play significant amount of time for this offense and defense.
Right, if I'm not mistaken, number 50 on the far side from us, the defensive end, is a freshman. So he's really going to have to step up against this this type of attack.
2nd and 11, triple option, and here's Ray keeping. Look out, Ray is loose. Caught from behind by Carinale, but he's got big yardage all the way down to the 28-yard line. He reels off a 23-yard run and gives the Crushers the first down.
Defensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator for the Cardinal Newman Cardinals is going to be a little bit upset right there because they're not following their rules. You've got to play assignment football, and that's something that didn't happen on that last series.
Yeah, you've got to account for the fullback, pitch man, and the quarterback. That time the quarterback got loose, and it's a big play for the Vintage Crushers as they move the ball deep inside Cardinal Newman territory now for the first time tonight. In the backfield, and hit for a loss. That is Mozadi Champo. Great play by the defense by Cardinal Newman. Acevedo was there.
Well, that time they read the right keys. You know, that's exactly what happened. They read the right keys. They followed where the ball was, and quarterback didn't fake him out. The play before that was a great ride by Justin Ray. He did a great job, and he pulled it and kept it and went right up the middle.
There's Acevedo, great tackler on this team. He's all over the field, and he's hard to find. They use that 3-3 scheme, and they keep him hidden. He's hard to block. Ray will throw, a little flip out. Schomkel breaks the first tackle, but ends up getting down to about the 25-yard line. Kaize Steverson makes the tackle. It's going to put them into a 3rd and 7 situation.
You know, this is a little out of character here, right here, throwing the ball like that. They normally don't throw the ball a lot. They want to go ahead and run, but this time they tried to get their running back out in space, and he was able to pick up a few yards, but the defense does a great job of corralling him down.
And again, the Crushers are without Dylan Smith, one of the top running backs in all of Northern California. Had a tremendous spring, averaging over 160 yards a game. He hurt his ankle against El Cerrito. Everything went wrong against El Cerrito last week. Ball's on the ground. Scramble for it. Ray tried to get it back. I believe they were going to try an inside handoff that time to Schomkel, but he never got there, and the ball hit the turf. It's going to be 4th down. It'll be interesting to see if they go for it here or they kick. They do believe their kicker can hit from beyond 40. This would be about 45, though, Aaron Bolinas. So this might be a little bit too big of a risk here early on, and I believe they're going to go for it.
It looks like they're making changes, personnel changes. They're bringing in some receivers. They take out the running backs. They're going to go ahead and spread things out.
And they can do that. He said they have that formation in their playbook, and sure enough, right here, they do go to more of a spread formation. 2 to the near side, and a different quarterback comes in. This is Titan Bradley. Tried to pitch it out that time to Justin Ray, who stayed on the field. And Vintage takes a timeout. So we'll take a break right here. Ourselves 0-0. 4th and 8 for Vintage when we come back from this timeout.
We fight for the rights of riders every day. We give back millions to support the motorcycle community because we are riders, and motorcycle law is all we do. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies with just any lawyer. Call 1-800-4BIKERS. We ride, we care, we win. If you go down, call Russ Brown. Motorcycle attorneys.
California, did you know our homes share power? But when we try to stay cool in a heat wave, our supply is pushed to the limit. But you have the power to keep us up and running.
I do?
Yep, we all do, with Flex Alerts. They notify us when to shift our energy use if our power supply is stretched. So from pre-cooling our homes to using less energy from 4 to 9 p.m., together, let's flex our power to save our power. Sign up for Flex Alerts today.
So get this, I'm in a car accident, I'm banged up pretty good. An insurance company offers me a check for $10,000. At the time, it seemed like a lot of money, so I took it. Such a bad move. Between the medical bills and the time I missed from work, before I knew it, I was broke. What's worse? I found out later, my case was actually worth over $200,000. I should have called Berg Injury Lawyers.
So as we get ready here for a 4th down play, 4th and 8 after that timeout by Vintage. Looked like they were trying to set up an option pass with Ray now, the tailback, and they're going to run the same play again. Ray is going to throw, and that one will be incomplete. So an interesting play.
I don't think they thought that Cardinal Newman saw what was coming, so they went ahead and ran it again, but up here in the press box, we knew it was going to go ahead and be a toss pass.
Yeah, you called it. So Newman takes back over. Let's take a look now at the vintage keys to the game.
You know, this is a big time. They had four keys to the game. The first one was they wanted to have good nutrition throughout the week with hydration. Number 2 is field position. 3 is execute their game plan. And 4 was win the turnover battle.
First down for Cardinal Newman. Yeah, he talked a lot about the cramping last week and how the kids just didn't take care of themselves. Here's Bierbauer with his first carry. Albert Bierbauer in this 2-back system. Bierbauer has averaged 4.8 yards per carry. He's a big kid and he can take on a hit. They come up to the line quickly now, does Cardinal Newman.
A little bit of tempo right here. Catch the defense sleeping.
Got about 1.5 yards on that first down play. Kneckley looking right. Throwing high and incomplete. That pass was intended for Zach Kelly. Kelly had a good game last week and has caught 6 passes on the year.
That was something that you and I both talked about. Kneckley definitely delivers the ball a little bit high when he's throwing way downfield.
3 receivers to the near side now as they face a 3rd and 8.
Another passing situation.
And flags and whistles. It's going to back up the Cardinals.
Tough situation right there for the quarterback, Kneckley. He's in the middle, but he was rolling to his left. He's a right-handed quarterback, so it makes it difficult to go ahead and square your shoulders up and be able to run like that.
Not situations the Cardinals have had much success with this year. 3rd and 12 now. Kneckley rolls left. Fires it to Kelly, but he's going to be way short of the first down as he gets to the 26, and that is all. So the Cardinals will have to punt again, 3 and out. That's one thing that Coach Sanchez talked about. He can't not afford to do. They've got to control the ball when they have it on offense. And so far, just 1 first down on their first 2 possessions.
Yeah, Tampico does a great job of coming up from that safety position and smothering that play after a short gain. So far, field position is in the favor of the Crushers.
Fourth down. Cortina to punt again. Break after the kick. And a fair catch called for by Powers at the 45-yard line. We'll step aside here for just a moment. Vintage will take back over at their own 45-yard line. 0-0 here in the first quarter on Coffee TV 20.
My gut feeling is this is the tip of the iceberg.
You want to know what we care about? We care about the truth.
Law and Order, SVU, weekdays at 7 p.m. on Coffee TV. Brought to you by Local BTV. Watch Coffee TV streaming live on any device at localbtv.com.
California, did you know our homes share power? But when we try to stay cool in a heat wave, our supply is pushed to the limit. But you have the power to keep us up and running.
I do?
Yep, we all do, with Flex Alerts. They notify us when to shift our energy use if our power supply is stretched. So from pre-cooling our homes to using less energy from 4 to 9 p.m., together, let's flex our power to save our power. Sign up for Flex Alerts today.
It takes all types to make up a community. And your locally owned Big O Tires knows exactly what each community needs, because we're part of it. Get up to $190 in savings. Now through September 19th, get up to a $70 reward card on select Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. Plus, up to $120 in additional mail-in rebates on purchases of $500 or more with the Big O card. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Tonight's game is brought to you by W.L. Butler Construction. Our approach is based on trust and relationships and has made us one of California's leading general contractors. Big play for Schomkels. He gets down inside the 40-yard line on first down as Vintage runs the ball effectively. But there is a penalty marker down way back at the line of scrimmage. This was coming back.
That means it's going to be holding.
Randy Mora straightening that out. A break for Cardinal Newman for sure, because Vintage was going to be knocking on the door.
You see right here, it was a direct snap. So it was a little bit of trickeration right there. Direct snap to the back. There was no quarterback in the backfield.
From the spot of the foul, this backs them all the way up to their own 34-yard line.
Worst field position the Crushers have had all night.
Another direct snap to Schomkel. And he gets to the 39-yard line, and that is it. Kelly and Steverson in on the tackle that time. Also coming up from the bottom of the pile is Matthew Hilden, who's a sophomore. He's the backup quarterback. He's playing nose guard as a sophomore. He's also, when they need him at quarterback, he'll put on jersey number 10. He hasn't taken any snaps yet this year, but he's very capable.
They're bringing back in Reyes here. Excuse me, Ray, not Reyes. Justin Ray.
And Coach Leach really believes in his players, and even though Dylan Smith is out, he thinks they've got enough guys that they can still control this football game. Ray rolling left, Bardis giving chase. Pass is complete. Nicholas Best was right there, but could not get in front of the receiver. And they're going to be facing about a 3rd and 2 after that play. Nice completion that time by Ray.
Yeah, Nate Matern does a good job of boxing out the defender, just like a basketball player would. Got in front of him, and he just pulled that ball in.
So manageable down as the Crushers complete a rare long pass. Last week they only threw 3 passes against Vintage. They were 0 for 3. 1 was intercepted.
Does that count as a completion?
Not quite. Flags and whistles before the snap. Wow, so far penalties have really hurt both teams.
You know, it's still early in the season, and both of these teams got a late start, and it's kind of like they're still in sleep mode. You know, they haven't really come out of their cocoon yet.
So 3rd and 2 becomes 3rd and 7 now. I'm sure that's got to be frustrating for Coach Dylan Leach.
Spreading the formation out. Watch for a pass roll this way.
And no, they run it straight up the middle and get just beyond midfield. Diego Davis carries that time. And he is met right there by Acevedo. Bierbauer, Bardis were also in the area that time. 4th down. What do you do here, Coach?
Well, what I do and what they do could be 2 different things.
That is going to be the end of the first quarter. So, as we thought, a little bit of smash mouth football here early on. 0-0 at the end of 1. We'll flip sides and be ready to go. The start of the second quarter coming up next here on Coffee TV 20.
The best food deserves the best salsas. I can assist you, for I am El Salsa Recommender. Carnitas Burrito, the Volcan. Steak and prawns, Oaxaca. Tacos al Pastor, Molcajete. Salsa is not about the heat, it's about the flavor. My work here is done.
Who is that? I don't know.
Pancho Villa Taqueria. I recommend it.
One of our successes has always been able to find the B personalities, and the B personality just stands for Butler, which means fitting into our organization. We could have been a much bigger company if we had chosen to be, but it's been the philosophy of both myself, Bill, and the leadership team to stay at a size that we really know all of our team members and their family members, because we're only as good as the team member sitting next to us.
Our work is something to be proud of. We make the products people use, the products that make their lives simpler, the high-tech tools to help defend our country, and the innovations that will shape the future. Some say American industry can't keep up anymore. I say our work is proof that made in the USA still means something. The power professionals of the IBEW, proudly American, proudly union.
Local 617 serving San Mateo County since 1908. It looks like Vintage is going to go ahead and punt here as Aaron Bolinas comes on. Had plenty of time to think about that. Air drops back deep for Newman. Angle it to the sidelines. Air is going to take it at about the 10. Tries to make the first guy miss, but he cannot. Nice job by Dylan McMahon as he met him head on in the open field and dropped him. So again, Cardinal Newman played with poor field position here, Steve. Let's take a look at their keys to the game now.
Yeah, you know, they had 3 keys to the game, Dave. It was win the turnover battle, win on third down conversions, and keep Vintage off the field on offense. And they haven't been able to do too much of that so far here. No turnovers, though.
Yeah, that was really the big key for him. They lost the turnover battle against San Leandro, lost the game. They won the turnover battle against Vacaville and won the game. 1st and 10. Acevedo back in at tailback, and he gets out to the 15.5-yard line. Nice pickup on first down.
You're going to see a lot of stack in the box here by the Crushers defense. They're going to go ahead and bring a lot of guys into the box, 8, 9-man box.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of teams defend Cardinal Newman that way as the season goes on and really challenge them, try to go over the top. Call that a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Acevedo the lone back. They also will come up under center and use a fullback. We haven't seen that tonight. Stretch play to Acevedo, left side, trying to get to the outside, and Davis meets him there. Might have taken the football away. No indication yet. I believe they're going to say he was down before that ball was stripped out by Davis. That's a break for Cardinal Newman. 3rd down. Nice play by Diego Davis.
No, Diego Davis does a great job. It was just a little bit late getting there and stripping that ball. Acevedo's got to cover it up with both hands when he goes ahead and gets hit like that. We just got through talking about protecting the ball.
Nice night here at Cardinal Newman. The new lights are on. They just put these in. Very nice, brand new LED lights. Glad the game wasn't last night. It was a little rainy and thunder and lightning. We had all kinds of stuff going on last night in Sonoma County. It's a little bit nicer, although a little cool. Konechny rolling, firing downfield, and nice defense that time by Schomkel. We talked about him in the open as the free safety, and he does a great job stopping Zach Kelly from getting the ball. Zach Powers was also in the area. Nice defense by the Crushers, and again, it's a 3-and-out for Cardinal Newman.
Exactly. No, Sean, you hit the nail on the head there. Schomkel does a good job. He keeps getting depth like a defender should. As long as the quarterback is running behind the line of scrimmage, he can go ahead and throw that ball, and Schomkel does a great job of getting depth on that. He's able to break it up.
Cortina's going to punt this from about the 5. Last week they had a snap go over his head, so you bet they've worked on that very hard. Powers back to receive. Not a good kick, but he does get a little bit of a Cardinal Newman roll out to the 44-yard line. So Again, Vintage has great field position. They've got opportunity after opportunity here in the first half, have not been able to take advantage yet.
No, they've stalled a little bit, and that's really surprising. You know, the triple option, it takes a lot of practice. They're supposedly very good at it, and they haven't been able to go ahead and get to the outside. Just one play with the quarterback keeper was a big play. They've tried a lot of different tricky things. You know, they went to without a quarterback. They tried a toss pass. I think if they just would stick with the option they made, here you see a full house.
Yeah, they're going direct snap to Schomkel this time. And he gets about 1.5 yards. Nice play, stepping up, meeting him head on with Zach Kelly. Steverson and Acevedo also in on the tackle.
You know, one of the things that I'm not taking anything away from the Newman defense. Newman's defense is playing, you know, stingy football, and that's exactly what Coach Sanchez wanted him to do. They've been able to go ahead, except for one big play there with the quarterback keeper. They've been able to shut things down.
Kind of a single wing formation really there as they're going kind of old school on us. The triple option's old school, but the single wing is really
even older.
Even older.
Much older.
Ray back in at quarterback now. Gives it to Davis, and Davis breaks a tackle and almost got away. Zach Kelly caught him from behind, tripped him up at the 26-yard line, but it's a big gain for Diego Davis.
No, Davis does a good job of reading his block. He sees the kick-out block on the end there. You can see right here the kick-out block goes ahead and takes a crease, and they go right through it. And that's exactly how you want to run that option. Good read by Justin Ray.
Cardinal Newman defensive coordinator Pat Field talked about perhaps taking some chances, blitzing quite a bit, and trying to disrupt the triple option, but you can get burned if you do that. Schomkel, another direct snap, and he gets to about the 21-yard line. Rock'em sock'em football right now, coming straight at the Cardinals.
You know, the playbook is really getting opened up here.
Picked up about 5 yards on that first down play, so it's a good game for Schomkel. Big bodies up front. The offensive line are really the strength of this offense. They set the tone, and a lot of personalities on the offensive line. That's why he likes Ray at quarterback. He says he can handle those guys up front. Here comes Ray, keeping this time. He'll be close to a first down. Kelly hits him at the 15-yard line, but he gets down to the 13-yard line, and they will move the chains again.
And this is exactly what they do. They just gobble up yardage a little bit at a time. They get positive yardage, 3, 4, 5 yards at a crack, and move the change every single time.
Yeah, both these teams had great success in 2019. Vintage made the playoffs, got deep into the playoffs of the NCS semifinals. Newman won the Division II state championship in 2019. Here comes Ray. And Ray has good blocking. Ray around the right side. He'll be close to the end zone, and it looks like he's spotted just short.
You know, going back to that 219 that you were talking about, their point differential was a plus 49. They just rolled people.
Oh, and a penalty is going to bring that one back. The Crushers were knocking on the door of the end zone, and now they get all the way back out to the 22-yard line. Penalties have really hurt the Crushers so far.
No, excuse the pun, but it's crushed them.
Yeah, it really has.
They've had some great movement, but they keep just hurting themselves with those penalties. Newman has got to gather themselves right here.
First and 20. They are within field goal range, but they're thinking 6 right here. Schomkel to the outside, turns the corner, steps out of bounds at the 12.5-yard line, but another nice gain for this Vintage offense. They're starting to get in sync a little bit more. I think they were really thrown off last week. They did not expect to fall apart like that after all the success they had going 6-0 in the spring. NCS semifinal team in 2019, and everything went wrong against El Cerrito, and Coach Leach really credited El Cerrito for playing a great game.
Well, they came out a little bit sleepy in that game, and then the injuries just threw the monkey wrench in it, and they had to make all kinds of adjustments, and they couldn't. Here you see they're starting to make some adjustments, and I like the way they faked the dive and they gave to Shamko off the edge.
Ray will keep again. Ray doing a nice job running the option, and he gets down near the 10-yard line. It's going to be a big third down play right here. Well within field goal range of Aaron Bolinas.
Ray, being a senior, is getting a chance to go ahead and take command of this, and he wants to put his stamp on this to go ahead and show Coach Leach that, hey, I am your man, and I can go ahead and run this offense, Coach.
He carried 5 times last week for 25 yards, but not as a quarterback, strictly as a running back.
That's how versatile he is.
Schonkel trying to get to the outside, and the Cardinals are there. So here comes the decision now for Dylan Leach. You go for it on 4th and what looks to be about 4, maybe 3, or do you try to put some points on the board and send your field goal kicker out? Right now he's got no hesitation. He is going to go for it here on 4th down.
They're going to go ahead and roll the dice right here. They're bringing in some heavy linemen. They're going to go with the heavy package and probably try and just push it right up the gut.
Okay, brought in a couple of big boys. Cardinal Newman's going to switch things up a little bit defensively as well.
Ray's out, so watch a direct snap to Schomkel.
Yep, Schomkel's there. He'll take the snap.
And he's got some big blockers in front of him.
Trying to get to the outside. Look out. Schomkel turns the corner, and he's in. Touchdown, Vintage. However, hang on. Might be a penalty marker down. Yes, there is. Randy Morrow will straighten this out. Yeah, I didn't think there was a couple guys set, and I didn't see the flag go down right away. But it certainly looked like a few guys were getting set as they snapped the ball.
Well, you put some linemen in the backfield right here. You see 52 and 50 going right in, and their sweep. It's a great play, but you got to get set.
Now they bring in Aaron Bolinas for the field goal. Try to put points on the board. This will be a 30-yarder from the far hash. And it's blocked. Wow, the Cardinals are going to hold. The ball's still loose. Doesn't really matter who picks it up. Cardinal Newman has it at the 41-yard line. Great penetration, and Cardinal Newman grabs a bunch of momentum.
I think it was Air that got in there and blocked it off the edge.
Air, number 2, got a hand up.
Well,
what a great defensive stand. The danger zone is happy.
The snap was low. It wasn't handled correctly. And you see right there, what an outstanding job. It was perfectly played by Air, taking it right off the foot of the kicker. And that's exactly what you want to go ahead and do, is tell him, don't go at the kicker, go at the foot of the kicker.
Yeah, if you go at the kicker, you end up roughing the kicker.
Exactly.
And that costs you, but he dove perfectly in front of where that kick was going to go and blocked it. So Nicholas Air comes up with a huge play, and Cardinal Newman takes over. Still scoreless here. Bierbauer left side, spinning, weaving, and Bierbauer digs all the way out to the 47-yard line. Great second effort as he picks up 6 yards on first down.
I think you and I did a game up at Windsor. It was Cardinal Newman and Windsor last year, and Bierbauer was a running back. Powerful runner. You know, he's the guy that you want to go ahead and get up the middle.
So a nice gain on first down. Remember last week, Newman trailed 2-0 at the half, came back and won that game. Bierbauer this time hit and dropped, no gain.
Diego Davis coming up and making a stick right there. And he's making a statement on defense, Diego Davis is.
It's going to be third down for Newman now from their own 47-yard line.
Vintage
cross midfield, yeah.
I'm sorry. Vintage came into this game wanting to force Cardinal Newman to throw the ball and do something that they didn't feel that they might be comfortable with.
Neckley with a pump fake, being chased, trying to set up a screen. He gets it to Bierbauer. Bierbauer has a first down as he slips one of the tackles, taken down by Dominic Mendoza, but he gets across midfield, and the Cardinals have a first down at the Vintage 47-yard line.
I like the call by Coach Sanchez here. He spreads everybody out, and then he goes with a little middle screen, and he's able to go ahead and pick up the first down. Everybody thought he was going to go deep, but middle screen.
They've run that play to Acevedo a few times this year. In fact, he has their most receptions with 7. Bierbauer this time is Knechtley throws that one a little high, and it's almost intercepted. That was what really cost them in the San Leandro game. A couple high throws that were tipped and picked. That one was intended for Nielsen.
Doesn't look like Knechtley's actually comfortable when he's rolling out either right or left, and his delivery, his elbows, his release is very high. He's not following through, and the ball's carrying high.
Knechtley 2 of 5. Hasn't been able to get the ball to the tight end yet. Look for that as a play. Santiago Adon has been a key receiver for them, and he's in a slot position right now on the left side of the formation, and a marker goes down before the snap here.
It's going to be offsides on the defense.
Yeah, it looked like someone lined up in the neutral zone.
Correct.
That was Aaron Gilmet that lined up in the neutral zone. They call that encroachment.
Well, we used to, when I coached the defensive line, at one point, you want to tell them credit card alignment. You want to be able to just slip a credit card between you and the ball. And that time he was over that credit card. His limit was over.
Knechtley over the middle to Carinali, a little behind him and incomplete. It's going to be third down. He had first down yardage had he been able to hang on to that football. Jacob Carinali had a couple big plays last week against Vacaville.
You know, the receivers for Cardinal Newman really have to help their quarterback out. If you're going to get your hands on it, you're going to have to catch the ball. And we've seen a couple of drops here that I'm going to go ahead and put on the receivers.
See what they can come up here on third down again. They picked up the first down with that screen last time. Knechtley waiting, firing high, complete to Kohut. Did he have first down yardage, however? He might be just a little bit short as he took that at the 39, needed the 38. So it's going to be 4th and 1. No doubt they'll go for it here.
You know, they may go with a hard count to see if they can get the defense to jump.
Bring in a second tight end now, Kiko Hernandez. And they'll go to this fullback set.
Coach Sanchez calls timeout. It's going to be timeout Cardinal Newman.
So the Cardinals will think about this one a little bit. 4:12 to go here in the first half. And it's 0-0 Vintage and Cardinal Newman on Coffee TV 20.
Colma is often referred to as the city of souls. It is also a city of stories. And one of the great stories is Joe DiMaggio at Rest at Holy Cross. Joe DiMaggio has an incredible baseball story. And that baseball story continues long after his death. People come here from all over the country to pay their respects, and they also leave little trinkets of affection. Baseball bats, baseballs, mitts, photos, left here to give tribute to one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
Over 12,000 square feet of amazing used furniture. You're going to find something you love, like this gorgeous couch I'm sitting on right now at Poor Honey's 4250 San Leandro Street in Oakland. I'm Celeste Perry, and let me tell you, if you're looking to get rid of a house full of furniture, take a picture of all that furniture and email it to poorhoneys@yahoo.com. They'll see your pictures, they'll contact you that very day, and perhaps they'll show up at your house, take all the furniture, cut you a check right then and there. Poor Honey's Used Furniture, 4250 San Leandro in Oakland.
We're here at the library, and I'm going to show you how to check out books in less than 30 seconds in our self-check machines. First, I take my card, scan, then I take my 3 books and a CD, put them on the counter. It registers them, you hit done, quick checkout, and just like that, in 30 seconds, you've checked out a book from your library. Hope to see you soon.
Fourth and 2 for Cardinal Newman inside Vintage territory for the first time tonight. Neither team has been able to find the end zone. Big play right here for the Cardinals.
Come out with that 22 personnel, 2 tights, 2 backs. Watch it inside the tackles here.
Neckley did try the hard count. Vintage did not bite on that.
Coach Sanchez signaled in a play right here. Go with the first call.
It's Bierbauer, and he's got the first down as he gets to the 36-yard line. Good blocking up front. Bierbauer followed those blocks and picks up first down yardage for Newman.
And who did he go behind? Gabriel Bardis. Big Gabriel.
Yeah, we talked about Bardis on the defensive side. He's also the right tackle, and he made a very nice block that time to spring Bierbauer for first down yardage. The Cardinals move the chains again. First and 10 now from the 36-yard line. And it's Bierbauer off the left side looking for blocking. Not finding much, and Vintage converges. Takes him down, no gain. Bunch of gray jerseys in on that tackle. Leading the charge that time was Dominic Mendoza. He's had a good first half for the Vintage Crushers.
Well, you have the strong safety out to the wide side of the field. And you got coverage. You got 3 DBs on the 2 receivers. So when you run that way to the wide side of the field, you're outnumbered. You got to get a blocker over there.
Knechtle to throw on second down. Swings it out to Bierbauer in space. Bierbauer trying to stretch to the first down, and he's close as he gets to the 26-yard line. Coming up and making the tackle was Noah Tampoco, but a nice job by Knechtle to show patience and find the open man.
Well, Bierbauer, he was the check down. He does a great job. He goes out like he's just sitting out there, and then the rusher comes off of him, off of Bierbauer, and Bierbauer's wide open.
First and 10, Cardinal Newman continuing to move now, getting close to field goal range for them as well. William Liu, their kicker, very good field goal kicker. They can get him a little bit closer. Here's Knechtle now. Firing downfield, wide open man is Cardinale inside the 5. One of the biggest pass plays of the year for Cardinal Newman.
I don't know if that was a planned pass to that side, but the quarterback, Knechtle, does a good job of looking to his left, getting everybody the coverage to go left, and Cardinale just sits in the hole right there with the zone. You see he's looking left, and then he comes back right. Nice read. And Cardinale almost in the end zone.
Wide open, first and goal from the 1.
Gonna go to the right here off of the right tackle.
It's Knechtle keeping himself, plunging forward, and he's in. Touchdown, Cardinal Newman. The quarterback, Lucas Knechtle, following his center, and that's the sophomore, Lonzo Arderberry, who pushes his man forward and gets the Cardinals the first score of the night.
Just a nice little goose up the gut.
Arderberry, 5'8", 260-pound freshman, just pushing those Crushers forward, and now Liu will try to add the point. Knechtle is the holder, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So Cardinal Newman with 1:49 to go in the half. They take the lead 7-0 as Knechtle puts them in the end zone. We'll come back and see if the Crushers can get something going with just 1:49 to work with.
this is about more than work. It's about growing a community. Every day, across the country, the highly skilled, highly trained members of the IBEW are committed to doing the job right, doing the job safe, and doing the job on time. Because while we might be experts in our field, we're also your friends and neighbors. IBEW, the power professionals in your neighborhood.
One of our successes has always been able to find the B personalities, and the B personality just stands for Butler, which means fitting into our organization. We could have been a much bigger company if we had chosen to be, but it's been the philosophy of both myself, Bill, and the leadership team to stay at a size that we really know all of our team members and their family members, because we're only as good as the team member sitting next to us.
So Cardinal Newman draws first blood here tonight. Took almost 22 plus minutes to do it, but they did get on the board. There's Schampel dropping back deep. Lou will kick it away for Cardinal Newman. Kick it to the far side, and they'll lose the handle and end up rolling out of bounds. So not good field position. That was Tampoco that took that one. Cardinal Newman Open House is coming up November 14th. If you'd like to be a part of it here at Cardinal Newman High School, go to cardinalnewman.org and sign up for their upcoming open house here at Cardinal Newman High School. We'll be meeting with Monica Myrtle, the athletic director and head basketball coach, highly successful head basketball coach here at Cardinal Newman High School at the half. Monica Myrtle.
Not only highly successful, state champ.
Yes. Ray will throw up over the top. Almost pulls it down with one hand. Diego Davis. That one's incomplete. If you're Cardinal Newman, you're in a good position right now. You want to build this lead a little bit. Vintage is not a come-from-behind offense type of team. So if you can put them in a hole and force them out of their game plan, you can be in pretty good shape.
No, exactly. You're exactly right. You saw right there, they don't throw the ball too often, so you're forcing them to do something exactly that they're not used to doing a lot. And that's, as a defense, that's what you want to do.
Second and 10. Straight ahead it goes. It's going to bring up another third down.
Only issue with this, like you said, is when you're behind, Dave, you don't have a lot of time here.
Davis carrying that time. He got about 6 yards. And Cardinal Newman is going to take a timeout right here with 1:26 to go. And coming up at the half, we'll have Monica Myrtle, athletic director, full-time teacher, and head basketball coach here at Cardinal Newman. This school's been through a lot. The fires, the pandemic. They have really had to completely rebuild, and they're doing a great job. The new classrooms are incredible. They're almost finished with the 2-story classroom complex, and then the library and student center will be coming next. So they've rebuilt from the 2017 Tubbs fire, and everybody's excited. There's great energy on campus here at Cardinal Newman.
Well, you can tell just by this stadium and this field what they think of this school. You know, they take great care of it. I mean, it's first class.
Cardinal Newman might be thinking, you know, with that timeout, if we can hold right here and get the ball back, we have time to put more points on the board. Minute and 26 to go.
If they throw the ball and it's incomplete, definitely. You don't have to waste the timeout.
Yeah, they still have a timeout left, if needed.
Double wing. They got double wing. It's going to be an option.
Ray to throw. Throwing deep. He's got a man. And it's batted away. Nice deep defensive play by Zach Kelly. Bryce Powers was the intended receiver, but the ball floated a little bit and gave Kelly time to catch up because Powers had a step on everybody that time.
No, Powers had the defense beaten. He was over the top of the defenders. They had to go ahead and run for it. Lucky for Cardinal Newman that that ball was just a little bit off target. And I told you exactly, if it's an incomplete pass, it's going to stop the clock. Cardinal Newman has one more timeout in their favor. They're not going to go ahead and leave it on the board here going into halftime if they have great field position.
Great opportunity here for Newman. Hair back deep. Good rush. He had to rush that kick. Gets a nice roll. Air picks it up on a couple bounces and gets to the 40-yard line. He saved him about 10, maybe 15 yards because that ball was going to continue to roll, although it's very dangerous to scoop it like that.
Special teams coordinators, worst nightmare when somebody tries to go ahead and scoop the ball like that, when it's just bouncing around on the turf.
Now Cardinal Newman's offense has got to be feeling a little more confident, Steve, after that last drive. They proved they can throw the ball downfield. They proved they can run the ball. And they prove they can get needed yardage in short yardage situations a couple of times on that drive.
You know, I would probably see what I can do on first down here with a good run. If I can't get anything, I sit and go ahead and go to the 7-point lead.
Need it back in at running back. Now he's going to go into a slot. Kneckley keeps it himself and gets to midfield. They do have one more timeout remaining.
Sanchez signals in the play. They want to go ahead and go with the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, they have options here. They could spike the ball on second down or just try to run a play as quickly as possible. Kneckley is going to keep again. And he only gets a couple of yards that time. Stepping up and making a nice play in the open field was Nate Matern.
Timeout's called. Last timeout for Cardinal Newman. Got third and manageable. Told you they wouldn't take it into halftime. You see right there, Kneckley's trying to go ahead and get that first down. If they get a first down, it'll definitely stop the clock, move the chains. But he gets tackled before he could get there, so Coach Sanchez has to use his final timeout. Well, you got 37 seconds, third down.
We talked about that El Cerrito loss for Vintage. Another thing was very difficult for this team was the fact that their week 0 got canceled against Santa Rosa Valley. They were fired up to play the Wolves rematch of an NCS semifinal game from a few years ago, and it didn't happen. A lot of games got canceled that week because of smoke, etc. And that was very disappointing and hard for them to rebound from.
No, exactly. That can definitely put cause the players to go ahead and be a little bit down and depressed. And I think that's what Coach Leach was saying, that his team was a little bit down and he had to go ahead and get them up this week, especially after the loss.
Third down for the Cardinals. Kneckley going deep down the middle. And Shomko is there and intercepts it. Carinali takes him down back near the 5-yard line. Ball was underthrown just a little bit. And Shomko playing center field as the free safety was right there to take the pick.
Thrown into double coverage right there is not, not the sharpest thing to do, but you only got 29 seconds. You gave the ball back. It was third down. You could have thrown a short pass, gotten out of bounds, and maybe set something up for a long pass into the end zone like a Hail Mary. But you see right here, he just doesn't get enough into it. And Shomko, playing center field, as you said, does a good job and picks up the first interception of the game, the first turnover.
And I tell you what, he had Acevedo out in flat that time, and there wasn't a whole lot of gray uniform in front of him there. He might have been able to get pretty good yardage that time, and there's still 30 seconds when that happens. So we've seen what he can do in the open field, that overtime run.
Well, if you can get it, if they could have gotten that run and gotten out of bounds to stop the clock, they could have gone for a field goal if they didn't get into the end zone.
So Vintage takes back over now with just 29 ticks to go. Ray up under center this time. and he is taken down for a loss. A late penalty marker goes down. In on the tackle that time was Jesse Myers. Yeah, Myers was a little overly aggressive apparently on that tackle and gets called for a personal foul. They were kind of shaking it up, two players, Ray and Myers. Myers was a freshman. He gets called for a personal foul. As the coach, you cringe, but you go, I kind of like that as my freshman.
Exactly, that's my freshman. He's mature. I don't want to say he's maturing, but he's pretty feisty.
First down for the Crushers. Penalty marker hits the turf. Ray looking for Schomkel, throws it a little high and incomplete.
6 seconds left. If I'm Vintage, I just want to go ahead and get into halftime and go ahead and make some adjustments here. Snap the ball, take a knee, don't get anybody hurt, play it safe. Especially now with 1st and 15. You know, a lot of guys would say, oh, we'll just go ahead and throw the ball deep and maybe you'll get something big. But what happens if it gets picked off and run back for a touchdown? You know, now you're in a hole, deep hole.
Penalty marker goes down again as the Crushers run this one off the right side. Bradley takes that one. Backup QB.
It's going to be a hold.
This could be a hold.
Yep.
That's going to do it for the half.
With that penalty ending the clock, we head to halftime. Your current score.
Cardinal Newman leads it 7-0 here at the half. When we come back, we'll hear from Monica Myrtle and more about Cardinal Newman High School. The Cardinals with a spring in their step as they head to the locker room, leading Vintage 7-0 at the half.
We fight for the rights of riders every day. We give back millions to support the motorcycle community because we are riders, and motorcycle law is all we do. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, don't fight the insurance companies with just any lawyer. Call 1-800-4BIKERS. We ride, we care, we win. If you go down, call Russ Brown, Motorcycle Attorneys.
This is my dad, Diego. He works hard to make us the food we love. But today, he's on a mission. It looks like he's changing his enchilada recipe. He's adding veggies and a topping made with plain low-fat yogurt instead of sour cream. But will it be edible? It's good!
Celebrate healthy choices that make your family happier and healthier. Visit CalFreshHealthyLiving.org.
Introducing Fozzie's Kitchen from the Big Boss himself. Because when it comes to his food, he knows what he likes. Fozzie's Kitchen comes in beef and turkey recipes using whole food ingredients. No gimmicks or substitutes. Each meal contains protein for strong muscles, carbohydrates and fiber for energy, essential oils, vitamins and minerals for a shiny coat, strong bones, and teeth. A perfectly balanced meal delivered fresh to your home. Visit FozziesKitchen.com now.
One of our successes has always been able to find the B personalities, and the B personality just stands for Butler, which means fitting into our organization. We could have been a much bigger company if we had chosen to be, but it's been the philosophy of both myself, Bill, and the leadership team to stay at a size that we really know all of our team members and their family members, because we're only as good as the team member sitting next to us.
The best food deserves the best salsas. I can assist you, for I am El Salsa Recommender. Carnitas Burrito, the Volcan. Steak and prawns, Oaxaca. Tacos al pastor, Molcajete. Salsa is not about the heat, it's about the flavor. My work here is done.
Who is that? I don't know.
Pancho Villa Taqueria. I recommend it.
And the Cardinal Newman Booster Club is looking for support. If you'd like to become a booster here at Cardinal Newman High School, you can scan their graphic, and you can also purchase your gold cards right there. So they're looking for support and help to become an athletic booster here at Cardinal Newman High School. I had a chance to sit down with Monica Myrtle earlier in the day and get her thoughts about Cardinal Newman High School and athletics. Welcome back. We are at the half, and I'm pleased to be joined by the athletic director, girls head basketball coach, and full-time teacher, Monica Myrtle. You've done a great job so far as the athletic director here. There's a lot going on sports-wise here, but talk about this campus and what everyone's had to go through. The fire back in 2017, of course, the pandemic, and the resurgence of this school in general has been amazing.
Yeah, we've definitely had our share of challenges over the past 4 years. But I can honestly say that we've handled everything with such strength and grace, and we've used it as an opportunity to grow and to be better. And you look around our campus today, there's such life and excitement. We have the new buildings that are about to open in a couple of weeks, and they're absolutely beautiful. We have new lights on the football field, a new gym floor, and so the past 4 years have been challenging, but right now looking around, it's just such an amazing place to be. And we've used our challenges as an opportunity to grow.
One of the first things you had to do was find a new head football coach, and you were able to find Richard Sanchez. What a great addition to the staff he's been. Tell us about that process and what he means to the school right now.
Coach Sanchez is amazing. He's a tremendous coach. He's a tremendous leader, and we're very lucky to have him in our community. He has college coaching experience. He has high-level high school coaching experience, and he's just brought great life to our community. The kids are extremely excited. The families are excited, and football is such a fun place to be right now.
Win last week, of course. 2019 football team won the state championship. You won a state championship as the head basketball coach also. Tell us a little bit about your program, how you've developed the girls basketball team here and had such amazing success.
It's no secret, hard work. a lot of work, and I've had players who have been committed to our philosophy of toughness and togetherness. They're willing to put in work. And I've been very blessed to coach some amazing young women over the years.
Full-time teacher, athletic director, head basketball coach. How do you possibly fit it all in and keep your head straight with all that's going on?
Just keep working. Like I said, this is a great opportunity, and we're really excited to see the school grow, to see our community grow, and we're very forward-thinking right now. A lot of great things going on here.
Tell us a little bit about your vision in terms of the athletic department here at Cardinal. What do I do now?
Well, Cardinal Newman is a college prep school. We take our academics very seriously, and we've created opportunities for our students to excel in the classroom.
I know,
and
I've got it right here, buddy.
In our extracurriculars, athletics being one of those.
I've got it
and so we're looking to provide a college prep experience in athletics, as well as in the classroom and with our other extracurriculars.
Fantastic. Well, Monica, thank you so much for being here. The energy is awesome. Love being here right now at Cardinal Newman, and we look forward to covering more of them as the year goes on.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave.
All right, Monica Myrtle here at the Hat.
One of our successes has always been able to find the B personalities, and the B personality just stands for Butler, which means fitting into our organization. We could have been a much bigger company if we had chosen to be, but it's been the philosophy of both myself, Bill, and the leadership team to stay at a size that we really know all of our team members and their family members, because we're only as good as the team member sitting next to us.
Our work is something to be proud of. We make the products people use, the products that make their lives simpler, the high-tech tools to help defend our country, and the innovations that will shape the future. Some say American industry can't keep up anymore. I say our work is proof that made in the USA still means something. The power professionals of the IBEW. Proudly American, proudly union.
The best food deserves the best salsas. I can assist you, for I am El Salsa Recommender. Carnitas Burrito, the Volcan. Steak and prawns, Oaxaca. Tacos al pastor, molcajete. Salsa is not about the heat, it's about the flavor. My work here is done.
Who is that? I don't know.
Pancho Villa Taqueria. I recommend it.
Well, if you'd like to learn more about Cardinal Newman High School and what this school is all about, check out this next video.
Cardinal Newman was my first choice because it felt like home when I first visited. I think that my parents wanted me to have a place where I can succeed academically, and they found that Cardinal Newman was the best place for that. There's definitely a sense of pride, you know, either wearing my Letterman jacket out and saying, you know, I'm at Cardinal Newman, I'm representing this community, and I'm proud of it. I know the sense of community that I get here will, you know, it's something that's very, very important to me and that I hold close to my heart. And so, yeah, there's definitely a sense of pride.
It's kind of a whole community mindset that shows that. And something that's great, I feel like, is everybody wants to succeed themselves, but they want their peers and classmates to succeed as well.
I would say the most unique thing about Newman is the community. I just really like that if even outside the classroom, if something's going on and I need help with something, I could either ask a teacher or someone in the office, and they're more than willing to help.
We were really looking for our boys to feel like they were in a place where everybody knew their name, people were looking out for their well-being, and just a small, supportive culture.
Cardinal Newman High School is a very special place. It is a faith community where everyone is known and cared for, and we grow and develop into the people that God calls us to be.
We're challenging them to get better at things, to push themselves, to grow in all those different areas, whether it's intellectually or athletically or spiritually.
I definitely care a lot about my faith. It's a big part of who I am. It feels great knowing that I go to a school where I can express myself and my faith and not be judged by anybody.
I didn't grow up religious in my family, and so being exposed to the Catholic religion really helped me grow as a person spiritually, and being able to learn about other people's experiences through that has allowed me to grow as a person morally and as a student at Cardinal Newman.
I think the most important quality that a student at Cardinal Newman needs to have is a willingness to grow. So connecting that with our mission is that students will grow mind, body, and spirit. So we need to make sure in terms of mind that students are willing to challenge themselves academically, they're motivated to do their best. We also want them to be a part of our student body, so get involved in sports, clubs, the arts, whatever that means to them, so that they're a part of our community, because that's such a huge part of what we offer.
Cardinal Newman's success in helping students grow, whether it be academically, in arts, athletically, and in service, is really coming down for two things. One, the school's mission and tradition, that as a Catholic school, it's an institution of service and care, and that it wants to bring people in and help them grow and not only reach their potential, but to help them be able to contribute. And the other great strength is really the faculty. Those who are teaching and coaching and developing, they help people grow because they put their best into. They care about the people they're working with, they want to help them, and I think the students benefit greatly by having people who know them well.
I think having the student-teacher connection has been a very big advantage for me, and being able to communicate with my teachers and not feel like I can't.
My classmates that know me would say, first off, that I don't really talk much. I'm a pretty shy person. I feel like I've put myself out there as a leader. Maybe not firsthand, but leading by example. And just that means always being on your schoolwork, always being a good person.
Coming to Newman, all of my teachers and coaches, When they see me struggling with something, they take note of that and try and help me overcome that. So that's just one thing that's helped me.
So we're asking them to engage with the community outside of our school, outside of their families, to use those gifts and talents. We want them to go out and be contributing members of society. The goal of our Cardinal Newman Catholic education is to form our students in mind, body, and spirit.
Mind, body, and spirit, so that they are ready to go out and be adults in the world.
The most important trait that I learned at Cardinal Newman was a sense of service. For myself at that time and age, the world had kind of been around me, and it changed my attitude. So I think service is something that students give not only their family, but to the community, to the school, is one of the most important things that happens here, and certainly the most influential thing I learned here.
We were greatly impacted by our oldest son's community service learning project, or CBSL. And I know a lot of schools now have to do service hours, but we really saw firsthand how Newman took it to the next level. And for our son, it turned into not just community service, but it really turned into a calling for him and something that really got him excited about going to school. And we really felt like it went hand in hand with the social justice aspect that Newman's trying to promote and teach, and to have kids get the opportunity to learn firsthand and give back to their communities was really a valuable, powerful lesson for not just our son, but it trickled down and got the whole family excited about his opportunity. I think it really culminated with his experience with the college counselors that were just top-notch. We didn't seek any outside college counseling, just what was offered in-house. We just felt very attended to and a part of this community. Sonoma County has been through a lot, and I think our decision to send William here, and we have a younger daughter who will go here as well, was really affirmed when you see the Cardinal Newman community come together.
I think that we've all grown to appreciate one another, especially since we've gone through so many hardships together. We've learned how to help each other as a community, even if we're not necessarily good friends. We've all learned that we can lean on each other for support when we need to.
Me and my friends get a big group and we go support the people in the dance class at their dance recitals.
Because of that smaller scale, you're known more as an individual, and your value is greater within a smaller school because the school needs you to contribute.
It's made me a better person, and that's just one of the greatest things about this school.
I think for Cardinal Newman education to be valuable, it has to be something where the student not only feels they receive, but they can give. And what I felt always is that Cardinal Newman gives a well-rounded education that helps the whole person learn and educates them in all facets of their life. And I think that is really the most important thing in education, that it be complete, that it be caring, and that it bring the best out of the student.
Ako po ay isang pulis sa San Francisco. 我係三藩市差人.
나는 샌프란시스코 경찰입니다.
私はサンフランシスコの警察官です.
If you're considering a career in law enforcement, find out more at sfpdcareers.com. We are San Francisco police officers.
Hey, I'm Matt. I'm here at the 81st Avenue branch of the Oakland Public Library. We're now open up for limited service, so I hope you guys come in, get access to those books, or even come in and sign up for a library card online. You can access 24/7 ebooks, audiobooks, and streaming movies from wherever you are. We're excited to have people back for our limited in-person service. We've got computer labs inside for you, as well as just a nice place to come out and hang out and read a book. So we hope to see you soon.
My gut feeling is this is the tip of the iceberg.
You want to know what we care about? We care about the truth.
Law and Order, SVU, weekdays at 7 p.m. on Coffee TV. Brought to you by Local BTV. Watch Coffee TV streaming live on any device at localbtv.com.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Jim Breen's State Farm Insurance, serving all your insurance needs for auto, home, and life. To get the best value for your insurance dollar, contact Jim. We're ready for the second half. Vintage will have the ball first. Their offense sort of sputtered a little bit off and on without Dylan Smith, obviously trying to find the right answer. They had some big plays, but really I think penalties more than anything hurt them in that first half.
Yeah, no, they got down real close to the goal line, and penalties moved them back. That's 2 times in the first half that penalties have really hurt them. Drive killers.
Lou will kick it away now for Cardinal Newman. And the second half is underway. Kick taken near the 10-yard line. Davis through a nice hole, spins, gets decent yardage. Check it, that was Noah Tampoco, as we take a look at the first half statistics.
Yeah, you take a look at these first half statistics. It's not surprising. Vintage has 14 rushes for 80 yards, and Newman has 14 rushes for 42 yards. The passing, though, Newman has outpassed, Newman has outpassed their opponent 46 yards, 5 of 16 for 46, well, 2 of 6 for 17. But the turnover ratio is very equal right now.
Diego Davis carries across midfield. Nice first down run as he picks up about 14 yards for the Vintage Crushers. Check it, that's Diego Davis. Yep, and Bartas ends up making the tackle way downfield.
Vintage has come out with a vengeance here in the second half and decided to go ahead and establish a good run.
So first down for the Crushers. We expected a defensive battle. We are getting it. A keeper that time by Bradley, and Bradley gets big yardage. Down inside the 20, but fumbles the football. And the Crushers recover it. Is diving on that. Jacob Galberto right at the 15-yard line. That would have been disastrous for the Crushers as they come up with a huge offensive play.
You see
but
right
almost
here,
turn it over.
Nice little run by number 4 right there. He does a good job of breaking it to the outside. Everybody was stacked on the inside, and they were blitzing from the weak side.
Spotted at the 16. Crushers with great field position. Ray hands it to Diego Davis. Davis off the right side gets near the 10-yard line, maybe even across that to the 9 as they pick up 6 yards. New energy for Vintage. They seem to be really motivated. They knew they were going to get the football first, and I'm sure their head coach, Dylan Leach, got them fired up to play this second half.
Yeah, I think he gave an outstanding speech here, because Vintage came out with fire in their eyes. You know, they've just been moving the ball downfield. It's amazing. Here's that double wing option again.
Picked up 7 yards on first down. Again, that right side plunging forward near the first down marker at the 5-yard line.
Well, the big boys in the front line there really are making a difference in this start of the second half.
Bradley keeping that time. Didn't get a great spot. He's just about a half yard short of the first down.
I like that play because what happens is the quarterback fakes the dive. When he pulls it out, he's got the dive back as a lead backer, and he can go ahead and cut off inside or outside of that dive backer.
Bradley, who picked up 25 yards last week in the loss to El Cerrito, makes a couple of big plays right here as he comes out in the second half at the QB position. They're kind of switching guys around, and Dylan Lee said they're used to doing that. They like using different quarterbacks and mixing up their looks and their personnel. And a timeout taken as the Crushers stop the clock with 9:31 to go here in this second quarter. 7-0. Cardinal Newman still leading.
Ako po ay isang pulis sa San Francisco.
我係三藩市差人。
나는 샌프란시스코 경찰입니다.
私はサンフランシスコの警察官です。
If you're considering a career in law enforcement, find out more at sfpdcareers.com. We are San Francisco police officers.
Otto, Ken, George, and Wanda is the woman they love. They all set out to commit the perfect crime, but it turned into something...
George moved the loop?
...less than perfect.
Disappointed!
A fish called Wanda.
Fatherhood is an all-out brawl.
There's something he likes even more than talking about football.
Lord, strike me blind.
Last man standing.
A full hour at 6 p.m. on Coffee TV 20. Brought to you by Local BTV. Watch Coffee TV streaming live 24/7 on any device at localbtv.com.
Nation's Giant Hamburgers, the Bay Area's favorite since 1952, with 29 locations to serve you. Don't settle for a nothing burger. Go for a Nation's Giant Hamburger. Really fresh, a little hard to hold, totally awesome. But Nation's is more than just hamburgers. We have really great breakfast too. And don't forget our large variety of pies, made fresh daily. Nation's Giant Hamburgers, keep it real, make it Nation's.
I was injured in a car crash. I had no idea how much my case was worth. I called the Barnes firm.
When a truck hit my son, I had so many questions about his case. I called the Barnes firm. It was the best call I could have made.
Your case is often worth more than insurance offers. Call the Barnes firm to find out what your case could be worth. We will help you get the best result possible.
The Barnes firm. Injury attorneys. Call 1-800-8-billion.
Out of the timeout, the Vintage Crushers with a golden opportunity, 3rd and short. Ray keeps this time still on his feet, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Vintage. The Crushers take the opening kick of the second half and march down the field and put points on the board.
That's Vintage option right there, triple option. Ray does a great job of faking the dive and following the dive back with the lead block. It's almost a quarterback ISO.
Bolinas will try and tie it up. Ray is the holder. And the kick is good. So we're tied up 7-7. Vintage wastes little time as they march down the field and score to start the second half. Great drive, great run by Ray for the touchdown.
Ray just finds a little crease. He didn't even have to follow his blocker that time. He just finds a little crease after that dive play. Like I said, Vintage triple option right there. Very, very tough. You have to play assignment defense there, and Cardinal Newman did not play assignment defense. And I'm sure Coach Sanchez is going to go ahead and tell his defense, hey, you guys got to start getting it together here.
Some other scores from around the Bay Area. Petaluma 41-7 over Piner at the half. St. Vincent and St. Helena tied 7 in the second quarter. Maria Carrillo 7, Casa Grande 0 at the half. Cal High 49, Freedom 20 also at the half. St. Francis leads De La Salle 14-7 midway through the second, and Campolindo and Liberty of Brentwood are tied at 7-7. A lot of high school football going on. Great to see the kids back on the field after everything we've been through. Playing in the fall. Here comes Air to take this kick at around the 5-yard line. Ahead of steam out past the 25. Breaks a tackle. Trying to strip the ball. He gets to the 29-yard line. Nice open field tackle by Montanez. Orlando Montanez also in on that tackle was Nate Matern. So Cardinal Newman now finds themselves with their first possession of the second half, and it's all tied up after leading into the locker room. They felt pretty good about their offense, but now a little bit of pressure. They've got to make something happen here.
Cardinal Newman has to establish something right here on offense to go ahead and put a drive together. Right there. Matern does a great job on special teams.
Connectly got a couple of big throws on their touchdown drive. Looking for the tight end, does dump it off to Santiago Adon, who's made some big plays for this Newman offense. They get the ball to the tight end for the first time tonight. Adon, who came in with 6 receptions, averaged 8 yards a catch. 2nd and 2 for the Cardinals as they pick up 8 yards on that first down play. Acevedo, stretch play to the right side. And he dives forward near the 40. Might have the first down. He was hit by Dylan McMahon.
McMahon really set the edge on that last play, forcing Acevedo to try and run around him, but he turned up and ran right, tried to run through him.
They're going to mark him short.
8-yard line.
3rd and 1 now. Kneckley, marker down. Kneckley plunges forward again right behind Arderberry. This one's going to come back. Somebody moved just a little too early.
Yeah, the offensive lineman wasn't even set. So it's going to be 3rd and 6 now.
Yeah, they had the first down. Now they're going to move it back. Officials taking time out.
Got to reset the game clock.
Yeah, we have our official mic'd up tonight, Randy Morris, so he's able to relay that information to the press box. So 3rd down and 6 now for Cardinal Newman. Kneckley looking right. Fires it high, intended for Adon, but incomplete coverage that time by Dylan McMahon. And it's going to be 4th down. The Cardinals are going to have to give up the football.
McMahon there to break up that pass. Break that 4th down as Newman sends out their punt unit.
Cardinal Newman a little lackadaisical there, Dave, coming out of the halftime. They started to put something together. They would have had a first down, but again, penalties hurt themselves.
Powers back deep for Vintage. Cortina to kick it away. Vintage with a little bit of momentum now here as the second half begins. Nice kick. Taken by Powers, and immediately he's hit at the 37-yard line. Nice takedown by Preston Kohut. We'll step aside right here as Vintage takes back over. All tied up 7-7 here on Coffee TV 20.
Go to Gray's. Gray's knows green. Family owned, Gray's Paints is the Bay Area's leading provider of Benjamin Moore paint, stains, and finishes. Gray's Paint will provide you unparalleled paint expertise, environmentally friendly products, and premium customer service to help you successfully navigate your project. Gray's Paint and Benjamin Moore, available at 4 Bay Area locations: Burlingame, San Mateo, Redwood City, and Menlo Park. Go to Gray's. Gray's knows green.
This is about more than work. It's about growing a community. Every day, across the country, the highly skilled, highly trained members of the IBEW are committed to doing the job right, doing the job safe, and doing the job on time. Because while we might be experts in our field, we're also your friends and neighbors. IBEW, the power professionals in your neighborhood.
Now tie this thing up and take back over. Their defense does the job, gets the offense back on the field, but Newman's defense is right there on this first down play. Football came out late. Kaiser Steverson thinking he might have had that. It's a gain of a couple of yards.
2 yards on the play. This will bring up second down, 2nd and 8.
2nd and 8 now for the Vintage Crushers. That was Diego Davis carrying that time on first down. So Crushers will see if they can keep the momentum going. Comes Davis again. No, it's a keeper. And then the pitch. Beautiful triple option play as Shumpel takes that pitch out.
Louis Canepa, great job with the pancake block over there on the right side of the offensive line. He just drove his defender backwards. I got to give a shout out to those offensive linemen, man. They never get their name called unless it's a penalty.
Yeah, good job picking that guy out. First down for the Crushers at the 49-yard line as they hope to cross midfield. Bradley keeps his time and gets down to the 47-yard line. Offense starting to really grind, starting to really have success. That was Shumpel, excuse me. And the key for them is not to create any penalties. That's what really hurt them in the first half.
Exactly. You can't drive yourself backwards when you're trying to go forwards.
About 4 yards on that play by Shumpel. He's had a good game on both sides of the ball tonight for the Vintage Crushers.
Vintage flip-flopping their offensive line. They got the big guys to the open side here.
Ray keeps, loses about a yard. So 3rd down and 7. Huge play for the Newman defense right here. Although
yeah, they have to go ahead.
4-down territory for Coach Leach and the Vintage Crushers.
No, they've got momentum on their side. They want to go ahead and play shift the field position. If they don't make a first down here, I definitely think that the smart thing to do is to punt.
Titan Bradley now at quarterback. He's split time with Justin Ray. He's up under center this time on 3rd down. Straight ahead, the dive play. Newman stops him a couple yards short. Might be a tempting spot to go for it here on 4th down.
No, with it being fourth and short.
Diego Davis carrying that time out of the fullback position. Looks like
Davis gets that ball down to the 3-yard line. Brings up a 4th down, 4th and 2.
And they are going to go for it right here.
Quarterback under center, spreading things out.
timeout taken.
No, I think it's there was a penalty flag that was thrown. It could be a defensive line. It was offside. No, it was offense. Interesting.
Oh my goodness. Wow, they hadn't even come up to the line yet, and someone makes an illegal shift and costs them 5 yards. Now they're going to punt.
You have to punt. 4th and long, and you're running the triple option.
See the frustration for Dylan Leach right there as penalties have plagued them all night long. Nicholas Ayer back deep for Cardinal Newman. High snap. Bolinas has to retreat. The ball is loose and kicked further back. Crushers trying to get it. Scooped up. Kaizé Steverson. Touchdown, Cardinal Newman. The special teams come up big for the Cardinals, and Cardinal Newman retakes the lead.
Perfect scoop and score right there. Ball just popped right up to number 12, Kaizé Steverson.
That's what happened to Cardinal Newman last week. They had a snap go over their head.
One of the things that the punter, what he should have done was just fall on it instead of trying to pick it up and get some, you know. So you take the loss, but you don't lose the ball and let them score a touchdown, all in the same
play.
play.
Their defense has been playing. But as it is, Cardinal Newman comes up with a big special teams play, a scoop and score by Kaizé Steverson.
Another penalty.
Substitution. You're tempted to go for 2 when you get that half the distance, but it looks like Coach Sanchez is going to go ahead and kick this.
These guys, they hit this kicker, so
decline the penalty. He wants to decline the penalty so they can kick in their normal spot. Lou to try to add the point now. Huge momentum shift in this football game. And Lou's kick is up and good. So Cardinal Newman strikes as the punt goes awry. How big was that penalty against Vintage? They were going to go for it on 4th and short. They try to punt. It turns into points for Cardinal Newman.
Disaster on a high snap. And, you know, the punter there is trying to make something happen. And he made something happen for Cardinal Newman. There's a bad snap. Just following it right there.
Yeah, he was looking up. Bardis was coming after him.
You can't look at who's coming at you. Just look at the ball. The ball's the most important thing. Yeah, and Steverson comes up with a big scoop and score.
Justin Ray had an opportunity also to pick that up.
That's something that they're going to go ahead and remember here for the rest of the year.
Just not something you work on real often, that snap that goes awry, and what do you do? How do you minimize the damage, basically?
Right.
Worst case scenario for the Crushers is another big penalty cost them big time. Lou to kick it off. Timpoko back deep along. Side Masadi Shamkol's had a good game tonight. They've been kicking it away from Shamkol most of the night. This time they'll go right at him. Shamkol takes it at the 19-yard line. Coming to the middle of the field, looking for space. Gets out past the 35-yard line. Good field position for the Vintage Crushers.
Good starting position, as you said. They got to have to put something together here. They need a drive to go ahead and counter what just happened. Give them a little bit of belief in themselves here.
All that work to tie the game up, and now the Crushers trail again. Justin Ray will take the snaps to start this series. Interesting formation. 3 backs lined up Davis carries behind the 2 in front, and he picks up about 7 yards. That's a power formation for sure.
Yeah, that's a 30 personnel. They got 3 backs in the backfield, 1 tight end, so it's 31 personnel.
Get that ball to the 43-yard line. Second down. Second and 4 for the Crushers.
Pickup of 6 on first down for Davis. He's carried 7 times for 39 yards tonight. Here he is again, and he's got the first down. Figured we might see a lot of Davis tonight with Dylan Smith out of action with that ankle injury he suffered against El Cerrito, and now they're starting to really get him going.
Davis gets that ball to the 47-yard line, and that'll be enough for a Vintage.
Vintage won the Vine Valley League in 2019. Kind of a new league. They were previously a Sac Joaquin section team. They moved over to the NCS, and they like that shift, that adjustment for Dylan Leach has been good. He likes the demographics, likes less travel that they have to do, and they've taken advantage with that Vine Valley Championship in 2019. Keeper that time, big yardage. Bradley, look out. He's gone. Touchdown Vintage. 53 yards. Touchdown Crushers. Their offense gets going here in the second half.
Bradley's got some wheels. he takes that option, keeper, and he just runs the daylights out of that play.
Bradley now has over 100 yards rushing on the night, the leading rusher for Vintage, and they can tie it up with the extra point now. Both these teams kind of come alive a little bit.
It's kind of a slugfest in the first half, but these two teams are starting to open things up just a little bit.
Looks like Bierbauer may be injured for Cardinal Newman. He's getting some attention down on the bench, so that'll be interesting. Looks like we have a timeout. Timeout before the extra point?
Yeah, number 50 is coming off the field. The center, number 50, the freshman's coming off the field. Or excuse me, sophomore, number 50, Dylan Wagner. Nope, Dylan's a senior. Right here, it's just nobody there on the outside setting the edge. And look at the wheels. Outstanding run.
I tell you what, he was scooting. Bolinas to try and tie this up with the extra point. His kick is up, and it's blocked. Oh, wow. Second block by Air tonight.
Air's got some wheels and coming off the edge. That's 2 blocks.
So Newman hangs on to a 1-point lead, 14-13 with 3:21 to go. Here in the third quarter, Cardinals will get the football back after the kickoff.
That was a quick strike. That was a quick strike by Cardinal Newman that was orchestrated by the quarterback, the second string. I say second string. We say second string tonight. He comes in and he just lights a fire under this Vintage team. Now watch right here, right off the edge, number 2. Again, taking it right off of his foot, laying out and doing a great shot. Fantastic.
The exact same play as the blocked field goal in the first half.
But you can't advance. You cannot advance a extra point, a blocked extra point in high school. You can go ahead in college, but not in high school.
Interesting. Acevedo's dropping back deep. Normally doesn't return kicks, but he's going to put himself back there this time. Missing someone on the special team to finally get Matthew Hilden out there. Newman by 1 now.
Big block on that extra point.
He kicks it into the end zone. Bolinas got all of that one, and there'll be no return. There's not much you can do. Once the ball goes in the end zone in high school, that's it. It's a touchback. That's a huge weapon if you have somebody who can reach the end zone every time.
Bolinas has had a rough night. He's had an extra point blocked. He's had a field goal blocked, and he was the punter that had that mishap that gave Newman the lead.
So Cardinal Newman still clinging to a 1-point lead. Spread formation here. Acevedo is in the backfield. Bierbauer injured. Pass is complete. Adon, the tight end, out past the 30. First down, Cardinal Newman. Santiago Adon with his second catch of the night.
Adon with just a little release over the center. Shallow cross, tight end shallow cross over the center.
Nice throw that time by Konechny. On time and right on target.
That could give him a little bit of momentum here.
Out past the 36-yard line that time. Acevedo carrying. St. Francis pulling off an upset tonight over De La Salle. 318 NorCal games without a loss.
Yeah, De La Salle has not lost to a Northern California team.
They did tonight.
In a long, long time.
Second down and 7 now for Cardinal Newman. Konechny's throws a little high that time, intended for Kohut. Kohut did everything he could to stretch up for that one.
Yeah, he used
every bit of his 5'8", 173 to try to get that one.
I was going to say, he went at least 5'11" on that one. The ball was just delivered way too high.
Windsor leads Montgomery 34-14. Start of the third quarter. Another North Bay game. Cardinal Newman is in the North Bay League. It's going to be a wide open league this year. Windsor, Rancho, Newman, all figure to contend. Big third down play here for the Cardinals, leading by 1. Trying to keep the Vintage offense off the field, which they've shown some great explosiveness. Konechny's going to keep. Konechny close to a first down at the 44-yard line. Schomkel comes up from his safety position and upends him, but we'll see where they spot this. I think they're going to give it to him right at the 45. Great effort by the quarterback, Konechny. He's done a great job using his feet this year. Came in with 43 yards rushing, averaging close to 4 yards per carry.
That was one of the things that Coach Leach expressed in our conversations this week, was they wanted to keep the quarterback from running. And Luke Konechny does a great job right there using his legs.
24 yards rushing for Konechny. Throws this one complete. Carinali, great catch at the 40, and he's down at the 39-yard line, and another first down. Interesting play and a very nice throw going to his left that time. Konechny having to twist and fire, and he threw that one right on the money. Huge drive here for Cardinal Newman. If they can pick up a couple of more first downs, they'll be knocking on the door.
Spread formation again, a 3-by-1.
And they're taking up some clock here too as we approach the 1-minute mark here in the third quarter. 3 to the near side. To the tight end, and it's taken out of his hands by Davis. Nice defensive play.
Playing a lot of zone right here. They're playing quarter, half zone. Everybody's sitting fairly deep, and Newman is doing a great job of just taking the shallow openings, sitting in the hole, and playing pitch and catch.
2nd and 10. Air in motion. Konechny in trouble. Tucks and goes. Helmet comes off. one of the linemen who's going to have to, I believe, come off the field for a play. That's Matthew Hilden, sophomore. He's actually the backup quarterback as well. Knechtle got back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. Knechtle is 8 of 15 for 89 yards passing, and they're going to need him to come up with a big throw right here again on 3rd and 10 from the Vintage 38-yard line.
Well, here's an interesting twist right here. You're bringing in a new center. Your center had to go out because his helmet came off. Right there. Now you got to go ahead and bring a new offensive center in.
It's actually the guard.
Oh, it was a guard.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Arderberry's the center. He's still in there. 3rd and 10 now. 2 to the near side. Santiago a tight end, and the Cardinals are going to have to take a timeout.
Well, that does allow you to go ahead and bring back that player back in.
Hey fans, let's hear for your cheerleaders on both sides of the ball.
It's been quite a night. Close ball game. Newman's been in a couple of close games. They lost to San Leandro. They led that game all the way till the final 2 minutes, and San Leandro scored to win that one. Then they were tied 13-13 with Vacaville scored on the very first play of overtime, a 25-yard run by Acevedo, then held and won that one. First victory for Coach Richard Sanchez here at Cardinal Newman, and right now we've got a barn burner, a 1-point game.
It's exactly what we expected when we came here tonight, the way these two teams play ball.
Yeah, they really focus on ball control. Their defenses are very tough. They make you work for everything you can get, and that's been exactly what we've seen here tonight. There's the danger zone, the student section here at Cardinal Newman. The parents staying warm. A little cooler night. The last few weeks it's been pretty warm here in the North Bay on Friday night. Here we go, 3rd and 10. Knechtle comes up under center. Gives it to Acevedo. Stretch play, right side, gets a block downfield, and he's got the first down, and more! Acevedo goes the distance. Touchdown! Santino Acevedo, 38 yards on 3rd and 10. His 6th touchdown of the year.
Well, you go to your workhorse, and you get a lot of production out of him. He does a great job of weaving his way down through the field. Once he got to the edge, he went straight north and south, and he had to do maybe 2 cuts, inside then outside, back inside again, and he scored a touchdown. That was beautiful.
And what a great stock block by the wide receiver on this near side. We'll have to see if we can pick up the number on the replay. Tremendous block that sprung him, and Acevedo made a great cut right inside of that. He tried to get to the outside, saw the block cut back inside, and then just turned on the blenders, and he was gone.
Well, that's one of the things you want to be able to do as a receiver, is block downfield to help your offense, and that's exactly what the receivers did. It might have been number 5, Carnali.
Lou to have the point. 21-13, an 8-point lead. Huge play on 3rd down for Cardinal Newman. Just 1 second left in this 3rd quarter.
See right here, he's able to go ahead and get to the outside. He turns it inside right here. Great job.
I like the high stepping too.
I like the block, and the offensive line gets to the next level. Right there, you see some of the big boys downfield to go ahead and seal it and give Acevedo an opportunity to get out in open space, and he just does the rest himself.
What a run by Santino Acevedo. Now is 59 yards on the night, and his 6th rushing touchdown of the year for Cardinal Newman. That'll be up to Pat Peel's defense. Peel, the defensive coordinator here at Newman. He was the line coach. Now his duties have stepped up to be the defensive coordinator, and he's done a great job. Their defense was huge last week against Vacaville. Did a nice job against San Leandro until the final quarter when they gave up a long drive for a touchdown.
Yeah, Coach Sanchez had a lot of good things to say about the defensive coordinator.
Schomkel takes it. trying to get back near the middle. And that's the way the third quarter comes to an end. And what an exciting quarter it was. Cardinal Newman now leads at 21-13. A couple of big plays by the Cardinals. And we'll step aside. The final 12 minutes from Cardinal Newman High School coming up in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Derek. And I'm Adam. And we're Golden Gate home buyers. We're buying as-is houses all across the Bay. And we're paying cash, fast, for properties in any condition.
We buy properties of all types in any condition and any price range.
And pay cash fast when you need it.
Stop! Don't make any repairs or even clean up.
We buy houses as is with no commissions and no closing costs.
So if you need to sell a distressed house in the Bay,
give us a call for cash fast. Call 275-SOLD. That's 510-275-SOLD.
California, did you know our homes share power? But when we try to stay cool in a heat wave, our supply is pushed to the limit. But you have the power to keep us up and running.
I do?
Yep, we all do, with Flex Alerts. They notify us when to shift our energy use if our power supply is stretched. So from pre-cooling our homes to using less energy from 4 to 9 p.m., together, let's flex our power to save our power. Sign up for Flex Alerts today.
We're here at the library, and I'm going to show you how to check out books in less than 30 seconds on our self-check machines. First, I take my card, scan, then I take my 3 books and a CD, put them on the counter. It registers them, you hit done, quick checkout, and just like that, in 30 seconds, you check out a book from your library. Hope to see you soon.
Tonight's game is brought to you by W.L. Butler Construction. Our approach is based on trust and relationships and has made us one of California's leading general contractors. Appreciate those businesses in the Bay Area stepping up to support high school football here on Coffee TV 20 and the Bay Area Online Sports Network. It's Schomkel carrying on first down. Sweep to the left. And he's got good yardage out past the 40 to the 44-yard line. Nice run on first down for Schomkel. He's had a good game for Vintage tonight.
No, he's been very active on both sides of the ball. Offensively, carrying the ball, and defensively, he's been knocking some passes down. You see right there the little jet sweep. He runs that jet sweep inside handoff, and he's able to get to the edge because the receivers are blocking out there. Doing a great job, number 5, Diego Davis. We talked about him, what an athlete he is.
Vintage's offense has really come alive. The Cardinal Newman defense is scrambling just a bit to try to stop the Crushers now. Again, Vintage is without their leading rusher, one of the top running backs in Northern California, Dylan Smith tonight. There's Schomkel carrying again, and Schomkel drags Cardinals across midfield. A late flag goes down.
Schomkel's helmet does come off. It's probably going to be a face mask. But I'll tell you what, Schomkel did a really good job of taking the jet sweep, putting his foot in the ground, and turning upfield.
Yeah, that was Nicholas Best reaching in, grabbing the face mask, taking the helmet off.
Schomkel goes out, but he really doesn't have to go out because it was a penalty. His helmet was taken off because of the face mask. He could have stayed in, but I think he's a little bit tired and he needed to go ahead and hydrate, get himself.
After the penalty, they spot this at the Cardinal Newman 33-yard line. Another nice drive for the Vintage Crushers, trailing now by 8. So it'll take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie this one up. 3 backs with Ray. Ray keeps, gets a block from Davis, and gets down to the 29-yard line, taken down from behind by Zach Kelly that time. Matt Hilden was also in on the tackle. 7 sophomores on this Cardinal Newman roster.
Coach Sanchez was saying that he thought he needed to have a larger squad. So if you're thinking about playing football for Cardinal Newman, come talk to Coach Sanchez.
Run off that right side that time. Cardinal Newman defense converging a little bit, but it's going to be about 1.5 yards short of the first down. As Ray keeps that time. He's had a good game.
No, Ray's done an outstanding job at quarterback, orchestrating exactly what they want to do, is to be able to run the ball.
3rd and 2. No doubt 4-down territory here for the Crushers.
Right now, time is their enemy. Full house backfield, straight T.
Give it to Davis straight ahead. Davis down to the 15-yard line. He talked about that straight T formation.
Going back a few years again, they ran single wing, they run straight T. They've got all kinds of formations, and that can go ahead and play havoc on the defensive coordinator's life.
Davis with another nice gain. 1st down, Vintage. Crushers moving the football down the field, eating up a little clock. See what they come out with formation-wise here. They've got a bunch of different ones, that's for sure.
They got a 30 formation.
Bradley at quarterback. Davis takes it. Big hole, right side. Davis squirts through, and he's gone. Touchdown, Vintage Crushers. Davis carrying off that right side and gets some good blocking in the middle. You can tell the Cardinal Newman defenders are starting to get a little bit tired, Steve.
Yeah, no, you can see that it's starting to weigh on them. They're going for a 2-point conversion here so they can go ahead and get back into this. If they score that 2-point conversion, brings it right back to even.
10 carries, 68 yards now for Davis. They'll go for 2 and the tie. Bradley, same play, Davis again, and he runs over a defender at the goal line, and we are all tied up. 9:23 to go here at Cardinal Newman High School in Santa Rosa. Vintage 21, Cardinal Newman 21. Cardinal Newman will get their hands back on the football when we come back. Wow.
This is my mom, Sarah. She works and goes to school. And even though she's busy, she always makes time to grab dinner for our family. But today, it looks like she's changing what we usually eat. Are those French fries? Fried chicken, perhaps? Nope. She's bringing home rotisserie chicken and salad. A healthy choice that's lower in fat and low in cost, too. But will we like it? We love it!
Celebrate healthy choices that lead to more successful futures. Visit CalFreshHealthyLiving.org.
Introducing Fozzie's Kitchen from the Big Boss himself. Because when it comes to his food, he knows what he likes. Fozzie's Kitchen comes in beef and turkey recipes using whole food ingredients. No gimmicks or substitutes. Each meal contains protein for strong muscles, carbohydrates and fiber for energy, essential oils, vitamins and minerals for a shiny coat, strong bones, and teeth. A perfectly balanced meal delivered fresh to your home. Visit FozziesKitchen.com now.
Greetings, travelers. I am Poinsephone, goddess of points.
Did you know that the Wander card from Credit One Bank bestows up to 5 times the points for your adventures?
To where?
Oh, I can go on eternally. National parks, zoos,
Amusement parks,
professional sporting events, theatrical productions, circuses, ski slopes, carnivals, fortune tellers, tarantula petting zoos, wallaby petting zoos.
Get up to 5 times the points in statement credit for your National Parks Pass. Visit GoCreditOne.com.
offense with another huge drive as they tie this one up 21-21. Now it's up to Cardinal Newman to try to put something together.
Yeah, it's like a seesaw here, back and forth. Cardinal Newman had the advantage. They were up, but Vintage comes back and scores twice.
Kicking it deep to Air. Air waiting for the wedge. Gets some blocking. Air in the middle. Tripped up near the 30-yard line. Nice job to get under him and trip him up by Reed Woolworth. It looked like Air might break free momentarily. So now the Cardinal Newman offense will come back onto the field. Coming off that last drive of theirs, big run by Acevedo. We'll see if they can get the chains moving now. The way these offenses work, 9-16 seems like a lot of time, but it really isn't because they're both ball control offenses. They stay in the middle of the field a lot.
Right, you see a lot of 30 to 30, a lot of plays in between the 30s.
Konechny rolls right, fires it in space, complete. Kohut at the 45-yard line, first down, Cardinal Newman.
Took a shot on that.
Yeah, Kohut may be shaken up.
Nice to see him bounce back on that one. Roll right, tight trips, little three-layered route. Nice design. Taking advantage of that zone defense to that trip side. Now it's 2-by-2.
Under 9 to play here in Santa Rosa. Cardinal Newman near midfield. Konechny fires complete. Kelly, and Kelly gets near midfield. Kelly has been one of Konechny's favorite targets this year. They spread it around a little bit. There hasn't been any one player that's taken the bulk of the load offensively for Cardinal Newman.
No, again, you see right there, he just sits in the zone, does a great job. He pushes the corner off. He drops faces, gives his numbers to the quarterback, and Konechny connects with him.
Second down and 6. Konechny to throw again. Swings it out for Acevedo and can't connect with him.
Acevedo's lucky that he dropped that ball, Dave.
He's about to get hit hard.
He was going to be hung out to dry on that pass.
Very dangerous. So a big third down play for Newman.
Big play for both of these teams, Newman's offense and Vintage's defense. You see Vintage is starting to play a little bit loose here because they've been able to throw, because Newman's been able to throw the ball quite a bit. So they're only bringing 3 and they're dropping 8. Maybe a 4th off the edge.
3 receivers to the near side, single back. It's Acevedo on third down. He'll carry, he'll get the first down. Acevedo still on his feet, turns the corner, down inside the 20-yard line. Another huge third down run for Santino. Acevedo.
I just love the way that young man runs. He's such a naturally instinctive runner. You see right here, he just takes a little off tackle. He stretches it, he turns it upfield. Now, wills himself through one block, through one tackle, 2 tackles, and he makes a 3rd individual tackle him for another 8+ yards.
Matern saves the touchdown, hanging on to Acevedo for dear life. 8 minutes to go now. Cardinal Newman in the red zone. 1st and 10 at the 20. Acevedo inside handoff this time, and he's hit hard after a gain of just 1. Right in the middle, Diego Davis meets him head on. These 2 great players for these teams.
Like a boxer, you know, you're throwing outside punches, and then all of a sudden you got to come back with that inside trap punch, and that's exactly what Coach Sanchez is doing. He's mixing up his plays pretty well. They've got the defense on their heels right now, and they got to take advantage of this.
Blue taking some warm-up kicks just in case they need to try a field goal. Stretches to the right side this time. Acevedo trying to get to the outside. Does turn the corner and pick up a few yards down near the 15-yard line. almost catching him behind the line of scrimmage was Dillick McMahon, but one man is really hard to bring Acevedo down.
Acevedo had a second and third gear right there. He does a great job of slowing down. As soon as he gets the edge, he slows down, he gets the defender to freeze his feet, and then he turns it on right here. Great balance. Outstanding running ability.
He ended up picking up close to 7 yards on that play. Third down. And about 3. Kneckley rolling. He's going to tuck and go. He's got yardage, looking for a block downfield, and he's got a first down near the 5-yard line. First and goal, Cardinal Newman. What a huge drive for the Cardinal Newman offense.
Newman's definitely found something that they want to go ahead and do. They spread everybody out, and now this time the defense turns their back a little bit, and Kneckley picks up some great yardage.
Under 7 minutes to go. Now if you're Cardinal Newman, you want to try to eat a little clock here before you put points on the board. If you can get it into the end zone, you can bet the Vintage defense is going to tighten down the screws right here.
Well, definitely tighten down the screws. They're going to go ahead and condense the defense because there's not much yardage left between the offensive line of scrimmage and the goal line.
Here comes Acevedo, left side, cuts inside, and he's close. He's in. Touchdown, Newman. Acevedo does it again. Great blocking up front by Cardinal Newman, and Acevedo finds the seam, and he's over 100 yards on the night with that run.
Acevedo does a good job of setting up his blockers right there and following his blockers. And, you know, he's a naturally instinctive runner, and it's really shown tonight.
That was his 12th carry of the night, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns for Santino Acevedo. Lou to try to add the point. Extra points have been big. And he does. 28-21, 6:24 to go here at Cardinal Newman High School, and we've got a good one. The Cardinals and the Crushers here on Coffee TV 20.
The best food deserves the best salsas. I can assist you, for I am El Salsa Recommender. Carnitas Burrito, the Volcan. Steak and prawns, Oaxaca. Tacos al pastor, Molcajete. Salsa is not about the heat, it's about the flavor. My work here is done.
Who is that? I don't know.
Pancho Villa Taqueria. I recommend it.
One of our successes has always been able to find the B personalities, and the B personality just stands for Butler, which means fitting into our organization. We could have been a much bigger company if we had chosen to be, but it's been the philosophy of both myself, Bill, and the leadership team to stay at a size that we really know all of our team members and their family members, because we're only as good as the team member sitting next to us.
Our work is something to be proud of. We make the products people use, the products that make their lives simpler, the high-tech tools to help defend our country, and the innovations that will shape the future. Some say American industry can't keep up anymore. I say our work is proof that made in the USA still means something. The power professionals of the IBEW, proudly American, proudly union.
So Cardinal Newman with a huge offensive drive, capped off by Santino Acevedo's touchdown, and now it's Vintage. They haven't really been able to stop Vintage in the second half. Teams are going back and forth, really the biggest play of the game still remains that botched punt that turned into a touchdown for Cardinal Newman.
Absolutely. That was a freebie right there for Cardinal Newman, and they took advantage of it.
Schomkel takes the kick, weaves his way out past the 40, breaks a tackle. One man to beat the kicker, Lou, tries to get an angle on him, and he can't knock him out. Schomkel takes it all the way back for a vintage touchdown.
This is two heavyweight boxers just punching it out. Special teams, you know. Everybody, coaches preach that special teams are 1/3 of the game. Tonight, it just goes to show you. Kickoff return, botched punt. Very, very important, special teams.
Lou did everything he could to knock him out. But he's a soccer guy. He's not used to knocking guys out of bounds.
Coach, I can't use my hands. I got to use my feet.
What a run by Schomkel. He returns it over 85 yards. And Vintage is going to go for 2 right here and try to take the lead. How about that? Davis fighting, and he's in. Vintage now leads it. 29-28, back and forth we go here in the Redwood Empire.
Coach Leach rolls the dice, and he comes up a winner. You know, you give it to your big back, number 5. 6 foot Diego Davis. Don't have his weight right there, but he's a load, and he just runs over people. He's like a street car rolling downhill in San Francisco. You can't stop him.
Schomkel with a nice cut, and he got some good blocking down here, too. Look at the blocking.
He runs out of a tackle. Runs out of a tackle right there. And it's just him and the kicker. Good balance as he tight ropes himself in. And watch number 5 right here. He's got 35 in front blocking for him. He's going to go ahead and just take the ball right up the gut. Well, we didn't get to see it, but we saw it live.
So now Vintage leads 29-28, 6:10 to go.
That was a very big comeback by Vintage right there.
Salinas to kick it off, and he kicks it out of bounds on the far side. This will be interesting. Last year with Zion Nunley, Newman would say, kick it again. Give Zion another chance. That worked out pretty good most of the time. This time they may just take it at the 35, I believe.
Ayers has had some good returns, Dave, but it's nice you don't have to have him go ahead and run and take that beating. 35-yard line is a great starting place.
Yeah, I might be tempted to make him kick it again. Although he did kick it over everybody's head a couple of kicks ago.
Exactly. Take your 35 and be happy. That would be a great return right there.
See if Cardinal Newman's offense can do it again. They just put together that tremendous drive to take the lead, and now they trail.
Vintage is stacking the box now. They got quite a few guys in the box.
Uh-oh, ball's loose. Looks like Vintage may have it. Crusher signaling they've got it. Officials agree. Big guy coming up with the football in the bottom of the pile, Louis Canepa.
Canepa does a great job. He knows exactly where the ball is, and he's the Johnny on the spot. Now he's going to go ahead and go from defense to offense. Just a bad snap or a missed handoff.
Yeah, it was kind of a read option play, and Acevedo never got the football. Wasn't sure that Knechtle was going to give it to him. Knechtle was trying to squeeze it in there.
Well,
now the Crushers have a huge opportunity here, 29-28.
Yep.
They lead by 1, and they've got the football in Newman territory. Straight ahead, fullback dive to the 28-yard line. That's Davis.
The big guy is going to carry the load right here. I'll tell you what, Vintage is just going to go ahead and try and grind out this clock with some yardage and move the sticks.
Yeah, if you're Cardinal Newman right now, you've got to be looking for a turnover. You've got to somehow try to get the football back. Second down for the Crushers. Davis, nope, it's Bradley keeping. And he gets down inside the 20. Another nice job on the option by Titan Bradley.
That's exactly what you do. You get that dive going, and everybody goes for that dive, and pull the ball out as a quarterback, and you just take it right around the edge.
Crushers are smelling blood right now. First and 10 from the 19-yard line.
Full house again.
Straight T formation. And the football may have come loose again, and Cardinal Newman has it. Kelly comes up with the football. It's a bad exchange, and Cardinal Newman puts their offense back on the field with 4:42 to go. Wow.
Davis just couldn't find the handle on that. He was bobbling it, going through the line of scrimmage. Right here's the dive. They're blitzing. Davis has it, but he loses it.
Yeah, the ball was stripped. Kelly comes up with it. Newman taken back over, just what the doctor ordered for Cardinal Newman. Not great field position, but they'll take it at this point.
Exactly.
Can they put a game-winning drive together here in the final 4:42? 3 to the near side. Kohut goes in motion. Kneckley finds Kohut. And Kohut manages to get out of bounds near the 20.
Pick up a 5. Second and 5. That's exactly where you want to be. Very, very manageable.
Acevedo in it back. Again, Bierbauer was injured. We haven't seen him in the backfield since that. Kneckley hoping to put together a huge drive here for Cardinal Newman. Acevedo stretched to the right side, gets out to the 24-yard line. He's a yard short of the first down. Tell you what, I might give it to him again right here on 3rd and 1.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what they're going to go ahead and do. But now they're going from the shotgun, so now he's got to pick up 6 yards instead of just 1.
And somebody might have moved early. That's going to cost Newman 5 yards, and that is a huge penalty.
That changes the play right here.
Tight end Santiago Adon moved early that time. And I believe the ball was going to Acevedo there.
I think it was the quarterback. He said 18.
He said 88, I believe. 3rd and 6. Kneckley has to pick up this first down. Throwing in space. Kohut has it at the 32-yard line. They'll move the chains. Right in the middle of the field. Find the wide open Preston Kohut. Great throw, great catch.
Yeah, Kohut does a great job of making sure that he caught the ball. He wasn't going to try and run, just needed to pick up the first down. Very smart.
Carnali out wide to the near side. 1st and 10, Newman. Acevedo cuts back into the middle. Acevedo out to the 46-yard line. They'll move the chains once again. That play designed to stretch to the outside, but Vintage read it that way, and Acevedo cuts back into the middle. Another great run.
No, good job of finding the crease, putting a foot in the ground, and turning it upfield.
15 carries, 121 yards for Santino. Acevedo Cardinals trail by 1. Acevedo again. I tell you what, there's some tired legs right there. Schomkel takes him down. Nice job by the defense, by the Vintage Crushers. He picked up 1, and that is all.
Schomkel coming up from the free safety position about 12 to 13 yards deep in the backfield. Brings down Acevedo for a very short gain. Great instinct and read by Schomkel.
Connectly's going to keep it. He's got lots of room. Dives forward and gets down to the 45-yard line. The Cardinal Newman Cardinals are in vintage territory. They're rushing. They still got 2:21. We're not even inside 2 minutes, and they've got 2 timeouts left.
Exactly.
Third and 1. Another big play right here. No huddle. Acevedo stretching it. Has the first down at the 40. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage by Schomkel. He shed that tackle and picks up 6 yards.
Acevedo with a nice little cut here. Out to the side. Shakes a defender, and Schomkel just comes up and slips. Schomkel had him dead to rights and just slipped on the tackle.
All you gotta do is thrown for 121. He's run for 36. He's had a very good football game. Can he keep this drive going? Pump fake, going deep, trying to stretch the defense. Carnali was out there, but it's incomplete.
One of the things you got to do here is be smart. Play this for a last-second field goal. I mean, all you got to do is get down within range, 40, inside 40 yards. He's got to get the ball inside to about the 25-yard line, and I think Lou's been pretty good.
Second and 10. You're looking at least 15, maybe 20 more yards. Here's Acevedo. Acevedo with a nice cut. He's got another first down near the 26-yard line, getting close to field goal range.
They stop the clock to move the chains so you have some time. Get yourself set. Don't rush. Right here you see nice handoff. He turns it up and he cuts back inside against the crease, against the grain when he finds a crease.
137 yards now for Santino, Acevedo, and Vintage is going to take a timeout.
That's exactly what you want to do, is call a timeout. Get your defense set because they're on their heels right now. Man, this is an exciting game right here. It's been back and forth all night long. Vintage took the lead. Vintage took the lead, Newman came back, they took the lead, Vintage fought back. Now it's 29-28, a 1-point differential right now.
We appreciate your efforts and your attention to that matter.
Well, 1:06 to go.
2 timeouts for Cardinal Newman. Okay, they've got the cards in their hand. They've got to be able to go ahead and play the right hand, though.
Terrific drive, great play calling. Coach Sanchez has this offense clicking on all cylinders here at the end of the game. And now you're right where you were in that overtime win at the 25 against Vacaville. But I think you're right. Try to get another first down, set Lou up for a field goal.
Go with
Get the clock
Acevedo.
down as low as you can, unless you can break a long run off
That's
here.
right. Acevedo, 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 right here. Next 3 plays.
He is the single back behind Connectly.
Double tight.
Here he comes. Makes a nice cut. Acevedo down inside the 20. Breaks a tackle and another. He's near the end zone. Acevedo is in. Touchdown, Cardinal Newman. What a run by Santino Acevedo. Bouncing off tacklers to the end zone. And Cardinal Newman retakes the lead.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. I'm telling you, that young man is marvelous. I'm starting to run out of superlatives to describe this guy. He took it, and we knew it up here. It's going to be Acevedo, 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 but nobody could tackle him.
How many tackles did he break on his way to the end zone? Question is now, did they score too soon? 55 seconds. The Crushers have been very explosive in this second half, and I'm not kicking it deep, I'll tell you that right now.
Well, that's a good point. You don't want to give them too much too good a field position here, but you got to go ahead and decide. Do you want to go for 2 and force a tie? I don't know.
That may be what they're talking about right here. They took a timeout. 162 yards now for Acevedo. What an unbelievable run.
Right here, everybody comes up inside. He dips it. Oh, look at him lower his shoulder. Dead legs it. Four tackles. Right here, great shot from the end zone. Great opening. Unbelievable. Great. Dead leg. Acevedo's. He's got it all. He's got all the tools.
What a tremendous block downfield by Matthew McCormick. Springing him. Love to see those linemen that far downfield knocking guys down.
Hey, it's all will. You know, these guys really wanted it, and that's what they had to do.
They will go for 2.
3 yards, baby. That's all you got to make. 3 yards. They go from the left hash. Now, do you run it into the boundary with Acevedo? Or you run it to the wide side of the field? Pretty sure it's going to go to the boundary.
Far side, they're stretching things out.
That's empty backfield.
Wow.
Empty.
Konechny rolling. Konechny's going to try to keep for it. Did he get there? No, I don't think he did. Got just a little bit short.
Wow.
So the extra point is no good. Now if you're Vintage, you just need to get in the end zone. But you've got 55 seconds to do so. What a game here at Cardinal Newman High School.
Right here's Konechny. He just, wow, close. Great defense. It's hard to tell from there. They buried him a little bit short.
Yeah, there's a couple of big bodies down there that kept him from getting in. Aaron Gilmet is one of them.
Yeah, 64. Gilmet does a great job of not letting Konechny get Konechny.
Wasn't this a 0-0 defensive struggle about halfway through the game? What happened here, Steve?
I don't know. I think there was an injection of caffeine at halftime. Both of these teams came out and they've just lit the scoreboard up in the second half.
And you got to credit both coaches for making some tremendous adjustments, making the right call at the right time.
Vintage has done a good job personnel-wise. They did a good job, you know, jockeying quarterbacks, changing quarterbacks, getting the right fit. Konechny's done a good job of managing what he had to do, passing and running the ball, but then Acevedo's just been the difference. Don't kick it to number 43.
Yeah, that's been their strategy, is to kick it to Schomkel. Now I'm going the other way. And Lou does. Taken by Topoko. And they nail him at the 24-yard line.
Good coverage right there.
Tampoko hit hard. Cardinals special teams do their job. Now it's up to Pat Peel's defense to hang on for 50 seconds. Vintage has one timeout remaining.
What do you do? You know, you can't run the ball with 50 seconds. Well, they've had some big plays inside with Davis running right off a tackle. But I think they're going to have to throw it. Yep.
Yeah, they're going empty backfield.
Empty.
Ray.
There it is.
Bradley, excuse me, looking deep for Davis. Good coverage that time by Cardinale, who was with him step for step, stride for stride. No marker down. I think that's a good no call right there.
Nice little switch route there. The outside receiver goes inside, and then Davis goes outside. They ran a switch. Davis got on top of the defense, but the ball just wasn't delivered where it needed to be. Davis was open, but the ball just didn't get there.
If I'm Dylan Leach, I might be tempted to hand the ball off to Schomkel or Davis one more time, see if they can break off a big run. You have a timeout left, and there's a lot of tired Cardinals out there on defense right now.
We can't hand it off when you're in an empty set.
Nope, they're going past Titan Bradley.
Quads to the left.
Bradley rolls, fires it deep down the middle. Incomplete, intended for Powers. Cardinale was back there, had a pretty good shot at it, but 3 Cardinals in the area. It's third and long.
Triple coverage right there. The ball was underthrown again. That's only 2 passes that Vintage has thrown in the second half, and both have been incomplete. So they're 2 of, let's see, what do we have here? 2 of 8 for 17 yards here in the entire game. It's all been run. Get yourself a first down. Just get a first down.
Bradley weaving. He's got lots of room in the middle of the field. He's got the first down. The Cardinals finally converge near the 42-yard line. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. Nice run by Bradley. He's got a pretty good game running the football.
He's very elusive. You know, that's exactly what you don't want to do, is you spread everything out. There's nobody spying the quarterback.
And they spike it to stop the clock with 15 seconds to go. We give a shout out to our camera operators tonight, David Day, Tim Banks, Carter Scott, and Martin Cornfield, doing a great job bringing you the images here tonight. They're going to add 1.7 seconds to the clock.
17 seconds left. They're going to go to 17 seconds. So they're going to reset the clock. It'll be second down. You still have a timeout, so you don't have to go ahead and waste it down here.
Bradley's run for 127 yards tonight for the Vintage Crushers. Yeah, they've definitely missed Dylan Smith, but boy, some other guys have certainly stepped up, as Coach Leach predicted. Bradley trying to run again. He'll get out of bounds. 10.8 to go. Well, you're trying to set yourself up for a Hail Mary type of shot right here.
Wow. Nail biter.
What a game.
Sanchez on the field trying to direct his defense.
Both these teams have shown great resilience tonight.
Blitz.
Bradley throws it low and incomplete. 4th down, 7.9 to go.
Pass goes incomplete.
And a timeout taken. And that is their final timeout of the night.
Well, you're down to your last down here in your last few seconds, so you really have to go ahead and come up with something. And I've been here, done that, and watch for a trick play here.
Yeah, you
watch a
never
hook
know.
and ladder.
Man, you never know in high school football particularly, and we've seen a lot of things tonight. We've seen some crazy plays.
Got a special play, and Coach Leach said they've got a full playbook, and they put a lot of plays in. So, you know, watch for a hook and ladder here. Something like that could go ahead and happen.
Sanchez talking over things with his defense, making sure everybody's on the same page. He's had experience at the college level both as a defensive coach and an offensive coach. He was at San Diego State and then at Southern University in Florida.
Keep everybody in front of you. If you're a defense, you see right here, playing 20 yards off. He's got four across the board, dropping a fifth.
Everybody back deep. Bradley
There it is.
throws, little hook and ladder. Schomkel knocked out of bounds with about a second. They might put another second back on.
They could. 0.8 of a second. I told you, hook and ladder. Nice little trailer there by
Now you are in Hail
Schomkel.
Mary range. You know, you've got an opportunity here to just kind of throw one up, hope something happens near the end zone.
Well, here's the thing in high school. Even if it's a pass interference,